today for this week. Yeah, I think last week we kind of went through, what our targets are for, for the quarter three, and this month is pretty much the last month of quarter three. But essentially today, Dan, there's pretty much we told what's coming up, and we will be starting the campaign for the products what we announced. But today I'm just going to let you guys come up on stage and just kind of go through or ask some questions to us, to me and Jamie or the team in general. But also want to just go through the feedback form. What we received. We had I think posted it a couple of weeks back, and I think about like quite a few of you have given us some feedbacks. I think 80% of them are really good, because as I always say, expansion is pretty different, or different than what as a team that we think in the start. We grow from a 333 to then 3000 and then to another 7,000, 8,000 numbers through Jiraverse. So definitely, we might miss out few things, or we might think that we are doing or going down the right path, but the community or you guys might not be feeling that way. So for us, this feedback form is really really important, and we are taking this really serious, to be honest. Um, just one second, let me see. I'm not able to click the start record. Arne, can you try recording it? I don't know if I've got the permissions or something. I mean, the start recording isn't working, like the command. Not only
Let me
stop.
let, let me try. Uh,
Because it's not working for me either.
I'm only getting stop recording. Oh, I think it's just record. So there's no start. Okay, got it. I think the command's changed. Got it. As mentioned, so last week, we kind of went through, what our quarter three targets are. And this week we're just going to go through a little bit on the suggestions, what we received, and how important it is for us to have gotten these suggestions. So first suggestion I think is something we knew about it, but we just, I don't know. I wouldn't, in the sense, we, for some reason, it's always kind of got missed out in our priorities, was posting a TLDR. We do all these AMAs almost every day, but then there's nothing that was written, as a written communication to people who couldn't attend, or even for people to go and reference back. It's really stupid of us to have not done it, and I completely accept it was not good from our end. So right now, RNA is pretty much going to be, um, you know, sorry, on, you should consider undoing the auto surprise system you have. I don't know what that is. Auto surprise. Auto suppress. Is there a there's a push to talk, isn't it? Jamie, can we just remove that? I don't know why we have that push to talk. If there's anybody who's kind of making some background noise, we could mute them. But yeah, I think it'd be good for us to remove the the I don't like that push to talk feature as well, kind of thing.
yeah,
So I'm not.
let me
Just
let
remove.
me let me yeah, let me try.
Yeah, just yeah. Once we'll just get it sorted. So yeah, the first and foremost, the important thing that we want to address is the TLDR. Right? This is not something that we didn't know, but I really apologize for. It's been quite some time, and I think we have never probably taken the written aspect of things, really serious, not serious as in as the priority for quite some time from the start of this project, even because this project was built on AMAs and VCs and me and Jamie and stuff getting on the chat and and stuff like that. So we never kind of really adapted to the written side of things. One is because obviously, as I don't want to keep telling this reason, but we pretty much were understaffed and we had to use the staff for um, you know the important stuff, what we have been, what we think, what we thought was important, and writing these reports, a lot of things take quite some time. But now that, as I said, we are in a really good position in terms of the staff and no more issues on the staffing side. Our core team member RNA is going to be full time on presenting TLDRs. There's also going to be YouTube, like podcast kind of things of all these, um, you know, topics that we are presenting every day, like as AMA. So there's going to be like a almost like a podcast slash topic wise video, a library stream, kind of like a on a PG YouTube channel. So these two are like we are taking this really serious now, and that's why like RNA would be part of all these meetings, or you would pretty much listen back to the AMAs, and the TLDRs would be posted. So you guys could pretty much go and click on the dates and topics, and you could go through the things. I really apologize for that. So that's one major problem that we want to address, and we are on it, right? So that was one of the main feedbacks I think that I liked, and I really wanted to address that. Number two was the most important thing was the priorities given to APAC region, as in like Asia Pacific region, and not much towards the US, or the mainly towards the US, or the um, the UK's, I mean, like the European side, because predominantly a lot of us are towards the Europe, Asia, and Australian side. So this has probably pissed quite a few people from the US and um, you know off a little bit. But we got to recognize and realize that US is a really strong um, you know country in the sense, like for a project to grow, especially, right? Like it's a really important aspect, the as US as such. So it's not like we are being biased towards the Asian crowd or the Australian crowd or something. It was especially during my work days, like a month and a half till a month and a half back. Obviously, I could only do this after work, right, in terms of AMAs or spaces or something. So obviously, like it kind of might seem like it's Asian, centered project kind of thing. And honestly, like that's something definitely. A lot of them have sent DMs as well to me, Shan. I just don't feel like there's any local community or like local feel to Gojira, being in America or something, because all the events are either in Australia or in Asia, but like not more so in the US, except the NYC thing. But that's something I think, to be really honest, in the sense that that's something I agree. But we do not. It's not like we do not want to have a lot of events or something in the US. Number one, it's too expensive. Number two, we are not a project that has got, like, as I said, like a lot of funds for us to throw a lot of money into the events and stuff, because Asia and Australia as such, we got connections, and it's a little more cheaper for us to run events or give some IRL benefits or perks. But US as such is kind of like on the expensive side and those things. Having said that, doesn't mean that we want to be biased, or we're not gonna you know focus on people from targeting people from the US or something. It's just that probably we didn't recognize or realize that till we got this feedback form, to be honest, that this was kind of a deciding factor for people. I honestly, I'll be honest, right? I've never bought an NFT thinking, or seeing which country it's focusing on, but I realized that I was seeing it from the founder's point of view and not from maybe a community member point of view, because I think it plays a big difference from what I see. Even the first come first serve, what Tata is posting, or any of these kind of AMAs, or voice chats. I think that's something I got to realize, that a lot of people from the US, they feel left out. So we think we should probably reshuffle our VC timings or AMA timings and stuff to kind of like accommodate, plus also ensure that, like we have few, like maybe all the spots or whatever we run as events or something, maybe split into two. It's a little bit more work on us, manual work from our end, but we got to do what we got to do, like in the sense we got to target. It's a global brand. It's not, I don't want this to be just focused as an Asian centric brand. Because if you see, I think a while back I posted just an announcement of asking people to react which countries they are from, mainly in the Genesis channel. US is the highest, right, followed by Philippines. So we do not want to think ourselves as just an Asian-centric brand with a lot of Americans and Canadians part of this community. Even people very less from UK or something, as far as I saw, but we want to change that, right? To be a global brand, we got to focus not just on one particular region. But like it's good to know at this stage rather than wait for years and then realize this and not target the other side of the audience. So I think that's number two. Number three was the channels. I think I already addressed this today in the announcement. So a lot of channels going on, and it's kind of like seems a bit messy and stuff. Completely agree. If it was me, there's two things I would have kind of changed from Gojira. Number one, it's completely deviating away from the alpha side of things. Like as in like move towards the branding side and like just leave away the alpha side completely. This is purely me as such if if it was done from the start. Number two is obviously the whitelist side because it's a bit of a pain, at this stage for the whitelist, because some of them are just seeing Gojira as just a whitelist giveaway brand side of things plus Alpha Group. And not that I do not like it, it's just that we are deviating far, far away from just being a whitelist server or a utility based project. So anyways, so having said this, the channel side, we have pretty much put a feedback form now. You guys to give a rating for all the the alpha channels for starters, for us to kind of get an idea of whether it's useful or whether it's not because we are paying some amount for all of these guys. We want it to be useful at least for 50% of the people. So if any channel that's going to get like a 3 on 10 or a 4 on 10, we got to reconsider whether it's needed, reshift the focus towards something useful, maybe bringing in like stock market analysis or real estate or something. But we want to like it's a process, right? We want to pretty much uh, definitely improvise based on your feedback. And second thing is the whitelist side of things. I mean, I completely understand that people just feel like there's no easy way for this whitelist side, like in the sense like they feeling that blind bid is stupid or the method of having some raffles and some putting some setting up 1,000 Jira or 500 Jira tokens for a whitelist spot, and then putting like 25 Jiras for a raffle or 50 Jiras for a raffle might seem like you know um, a lot, right? Like definitely there's no one solution for this, but I really hope that we could just wait till our the gasless marketplace is on, because I can almost see that problem is going to be sorted, not just for us. I can expect a lot more projects to follow this, like what we're going to do, it being gasless and the method that we are trying to implement. It's going to allow us to do a lot more things and like to give everybody a chance to win. Things like you're a whale, you could win something easily, and if you're not a whale, you pretty much still have a chance to participate and have a really high probability. Right now, like for us, it's dumb to put like say 1 Jira or 2 Jira raffles in something like the current marketplace what we have got, because the gas is going to be more than that. But let's say in the Jira marketplace, what we have, the gasless one, it's going to be much easier for you guys to participate even in like 1 Jira raffles, where the number of tickets you buy, you could buy 1 Jira per ticket. I mean, one ticket per Jira, but then the number of tickets also can be capped. There's going to be like a raffle where there could be capped raffles where you can buy maximum of 10 tickets or 5 tickets or even one ticket, for instance, for few spots, so that it gives even chance for everybody. And then there's another mid-tiered one where you want to buy for 25 or 50 tickets, and then the whale ones where you could participate in reverse Dutch auction or blind bidding or even buy now. So as a whale, like you just want a guaranteed thing, because I know how many people are paying 1.5 ETH or 2 ETH for a meme land or Utes or whatever, all these kind of whitelist that's coming up. So we are hoping to kind of cater to the needs. Obviously, 100% of the people cannot be satisfied, but we want to just try our best to ensure at least 75 to 80% of the people get like fair access to all our features. So these are the three major ones that I was able to see. I think apart from that, the other feedbacks were essentially, um, what to say, like Jira was people like complaining about not, having, not understanding or not having benefits exactly like a Gen 2, because of the mint price being the same as, or same more than the Genesis, and close to the Gen 2 because of it minting at 0.075. That part of it, I mean, I understand the concern, but I do not agree based on the mint price. What value should be given. But having said that, like I think a lot of them have gotten the Jiraverse train, because they kind of expected the same kind of benefits for Genesis or Gen 2. I clearly emphasized in the last AMA as well, like on how we are differentiating, or how we would want the Genesis, Gen 2, and Jiraverse to get the idea right. So Genesis, I wanted to be treated as this equity side, and Gen 2 to be treated as like the dividend side. This as in like this is our target, like our target of how PG should look like. So Genesis as the equity holders of the brand, Gen 2s as the dividend earners of the brand, and Jiraverse as the metaverse assets and metaverse components of the brand. So there's not going to be any this thing where, like as a Jiraverse holder, you would only the VX holders would get access to certain things. Just because you hold a Genesis or Gen 2 doesn't mean you would get access to any of the metaverse plays that we are gonna launch and stuff, right? So each of it is gonna have its own unique value proposition. But I mean, can understand, like at this stage the market is also kind of bad, and then there's always, like people just want to trying to make quick money, or quick flip just to feel more comfortable. So 100%, it's a, what to say, it's a little bit of a tough position for us. It's not something we rushed and launched, all right. To make it clear, we let it as open thing, all right. I'm not again, like I'm not giving any reasons or something. We let Jiraverse to be one of the fairest fair DAs ever, right, all the way down to zero. I don't know if anyone's done it before. We let pretty much the market decide. If it was a free month, so be it. Like because nothing would have changed as such. Yes, extra fundings help us to deliver a lot more things faster, but doesn't mean that if Jiraverse was a free mint, doesn't mean that, like we would have just thrown it away in the bin or something. We still need it. Right? It's going to be very important for our ecosystem. So, but we cannot rush in just because people are pissed. We cannot rush and just launch something out of the blue, out of thin air. So we didn't set the mint price at 0.075 and have something. Let almost the market determine. They're gonna. I mean, all I can say at this stage is, if you got in, if you trust the team, you're gonna stay with us. If not, we strongly believe that when we drop in the just one second, I think there's some disturbance somewhere. Yeah. So if if there's going to be obviously some kind of drop for, I mean, if there's going to be a drop for Jiraverse, it's a matter of a night. Things move overnight. It's not something that takes like ages, especially for a project of our reach. So whatever we decide to launch, or whatever we are launching for Jiraverse, it's going to be a matter of like a night or something, or whatever, like for people to see it and get the value. So again, we cannot please everybody, but we try our best to ensure that we at least communicate and try to address the concerns as much as possible. Um, so this is pretty much the three major issues or suggestions. Rest of it is mostly been just about like um, nice feedbacks, or just basic ones, like working on the banners, or working on the marketing side and Twitter side. I think, which is pretty much um, I think all good. So just one second. One sec. Just yeah, I think that's pretty much what it is from the feedback side. Um, and yeah, quite a few. I think people like definitely the most of the. I think that a lot of them, a lot of people. I think even the feedback that we got was mainly I think worries about Jira was they just think that it might be kind of hurting the brand because of the floor price being down. I understand the concern again, like it's almost like it doesn't matter if the Genesis or Gen 2, whatever it is, but even as a Genesis holder or a Gen 2 holder, they kind of are worried that one collection's floor price could be determining thing. But again, like I mean, I really kind of get I'm a bit bad at answering questions related to the floor price side of things. In the sense like I can only see you know the path that Gojira is gonna take or PG brand is gonna take, and I it's very hard for me to kind of correlate to the floor price. I know some of you, I mean, like most of the Genesis and Gen 2 holders, I know that they do not look at the floor price. They trust the team. The 80% is obviously not the, not the, the people that worry. The 20% is what we are looking at to see which of those 20% suggestions make sense for us to, consider it as a yeah. So the rest of the 20% is what we are trying to see which one of those are, valuable feedbacks for us to work on, right? So basically, so I think some of them calling us like even in the feedback form, I'm just being open here. Some very very few people, like I think about two or three Jira holders was calling us scammers and stuff. um, you know, because of obviously the floor and stuff. So it's kind of like as I said, like I try to see all the feedback and to try and see which ones are the good ones, to try and take some value out of it and improvise. At the end of the day, we are not gods. We are not like people with like 500 IQ or something. We are a team that's really like driven and passionate. That's all I could say. Really here to push beyond the limits, and I think our work ethics would speak for itself. But just because I mean, I don't think a floor is what's going to define a project's success. So all I can tell at this stage is that each of these three Gojira Genesis, Gen 2, and Jiraverse will have its own unique proposition. If it's not a comfortable investment for you, if it's $100 for a Jiraverse or whatever is the price now, or $40 or whatever, even for Gen 2s, any of the NFTs, whichever is not a comfortable investment, is I think is what pisses most of the people, right? The 10% are pissed genuinely for genuine reasons because they just want their brand to succeed. These are the feedbacks that we are taking and trying to improvise, because these 10%, although they have reasons to be pissed because they just feel like they don't want the brand to fail, it's more about getting pissed from the passion and not getting pissed because of the floor price. Is the feedback that we are trying to take and improvise. All right, rest of the 90% of the negativity because of just floor price, unfortunately we're just ignoring, because the solution, right? This column was what was amazing for me. Normally there's a feedback form and we get a feedback, right? um, but the solution part is what's always missing. It's so easy to give feedback. Be like, if Basie is going to open up a feedback, be like, give us more value, right? Amazing, but what's the solution? Like, I don't know, you give a value. Those are people I do not want to even convince them to stay here, right? It's fine. I'm not being arrogant or anything here, but there's no logical reasoning to it, and I don't think any community could satisfy those kind of feedback. But all those people who gave that, let's say 80% of them, which I liked, was that they gave solutions to it. What they think, what they think is, pretty much the problem, and how to, give solution. I mean, how they solution. For example, one of these guys from Jiraverse, this is from a Jiraverse holder, and this I really liked. I don't know how many of you have, um, you know, have done any management courses or something, but the most important thing, one of the most important things in management, what they teach is SWOT analysis, right? SWOT, right? SWOT analysis. Right, SWOT analysis is basically something where you do an analysis, strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats, right? For the failure. So there's one Jiraverse holder who made a SWOT analysis for us, right? Which I really liked, especially for the Jiraverse. So like strength, he had posted that the NFT brand is known, founder is known, DC server is known to have the best community and stuff. Perfect, right? And then weakness is that Jiraverse floor price is dipping, maybe possibly affecting the Genesis and Gen 2, right? And opportunities. Oh, there are still many collectors, including me, who want to get into PG and get hold of Genesis or Gen 2, but do not have the money or the funds to do it. So, Jiraverse is our entry point. So, there's an opportunity. And what's the threat? Is pretty much people not understanding what Jiraverse is, people not understanding what the team is trying to do with Jiraverse. And he gave a solution for each of this, right? It's not just leave with the problem, then he gave a solution on what we could do and how we could do it. And somebody who understood exactly what we are trying to do, right? And he understands what we are trying to do, but then also understands that we are probably not at this stage pushing on the marketing side. And you can see some of the founders keep like posting 100 times about what they're doing. Probably I felt that that was kind of dumb, but maybe it's probably important for a lot of commoners to understand exactly what's happening, to reiterate the, not just do one AMA or not just do like 10 tweets and move away, but just keep tweeting or keep posting the information, to it's about, one thing is about providing information, but another thing is about reiterating the information, right? So he kind of led to the point of reiterating the information, so that people always, they just don't, they see the info from Gojira once, they see these partnerships once, but then 3 months later they forget about it, right? And newcomers who come into the space do not know what all has been happening in the last few months, except for the word of mouth. That's also something I already addressed last week about the the shift from word of mouth marketing to an, kind of like a little bit of a traditional marketing side. So I handed it over to a few people to do that. So Amresh is the guy who's going to be leading it. So we are shifting a little bit away from just the word of mouth organic marketing towards a little bit of some other style of marketing, like the traditional marketing, leaving it to the guys. Because I'll be honest, for me, I do not endorse a lot of different style of marketing. That's me. But then I see like a lot of community members kind of want marketing and want the push just just so that they feel a little more safer about their investment. So I understand that. So it's not always just about me or what I think. We want to take inputs from you guys, you being the reason why even PG exists. So yeah, essentially, so I like any feedback is welcome, but try to give a little more solutions to it, give more value. But the solution is like, I don't know, you figure out, it's not going to help us, right? Give more value. The solution could be do this, do this, do this. This is something that's missing in the market. This is something, there's a gap in the market or whatever. And it's not just the team. Some people's mentality is like, I don't care, I just buy it, and it's the team's duty to figure out stuff. So I would like to emphasize again, we are not we are a community driven project. Means it's together, right? There's a reason why we are not taking profits, and there's a reason why we are not scamming or we try to cash grab from people, is because we believe or we think that NFTs, what we are creating is for the long term, and that the value proposition or the value delivery will be later. So once we deliver that value, then we start taking profits, is the reason, right? So this is exactly why we need the help and the support from the community. So whatever you guys feel, if we can satisfy and bring in, we have that's why I said we have the funds, we got the connections, we got the team to get it delivered. So it's now for you guys to also give us your ideas and your uh, propositions, because it's always easy to blame a team that is readily accessible, right? You buy 10 projects, 9 go to the drain, and there's one project where you have access to the team because they are available, or because the team is nice, and all the frustration from these 9 projects fall on this one team. I'm not just telling this for Gojira because we are not facing that much of a FUD or anything, but in general, right? I've seen this happen to a lot of projects where you, just because the team is accessible, all the frustrations from your bad trades or bad mood falls on this one team because they're available. It's important for us as a community to recognize that if these 9 projects that failed, whatever you bought, and this one project is available and ready to listen and to improve, and this one project you're just going to drive them away or drive them crazy because you just don't know what to do but just want to throw out your frustration. You do not want all your 10 projects to become like that, right? I'm just telling this purely from the point of view of, because talking to multiple founders, as I said, there's so many founders who reached out who want to leave, quit the space. You'll be surprised if the names come out. It's almost like, yeah, you'll be really surprised with all these the projects which you think would never quit. It's not like they want to rug. Exactly, I made this tweet, right? It's not like their intention is to rug, but they had enough of it. In this market especially, people have lost 30, 40, 20 ETH or whatever, and they come to this 1 or 2 projects and they come and try to put all their pressure on them to try and recover their 20, 30, 40 ETH losses, right? So these are pretty much the problems, that I want to try and avoid in Web3 in general. As a community, I think we just gotta be a little more, you know understanding of the teams that actually want to do something, right? So anyways, that's the feedback, and we hope to first improvise on that, adapt and change based on the feedback, and also like deliver the products, and TLDR side of things will be posted. Communication is what we want to make sure that we are a project that's looked upon for communication, because we are looked upon for our financial management. Perfect. Then our target looked upon for communication. Once that's done, innovation and floor price is automatically going to follow, right? These are our two main focuses, followed by our products and innovation and sticking to the deadlines which I've promised, right? We announced something for quarter. I've promised that this time, with all the fundings and stuff, there's no more. We never gave a roadmap, no more these kind of things. Observing the market and stuff. Whatever products we announce for the quarter, whatever it takes, we're going to deliver it. All right, with full effort from the team. So we want to ensure that we do not delay, or we do not just say that we didn't have a roadmap and there's no deadlines and stuff. So there's going to be quarterly deadlines, regular communication on the progress of them, and if we are giving us like decent time to ensure that we do not just come up with some issues and be like delaying it again and again. So our quarterly targets are really reasonable and achievable in the long term. So yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, so yeah, these are changes, and let me go back to some questions. Shan, could you share more on the progress and concept of Evolve? What kind of products or services it'll deliver? I'm not going to be. I think I told this even in the last team meeting. I mean, sorry, the AMA. Evolve is not going to be discussed by me or even in my tweets or anything. We are essentially grabbing completely new set of attention and eyes, and and also a team that's working on it in a different way to PG, in that sense. So as I said, PG is where we do not want to go to VCs and stuff, but Evolve is different. Evolve is going to be on a different kind of a play. So PG and Evolve are almost going to be like kind of like an opposite end of the spectrums. I do not want to confuse every single product what we are trying to come up with PG, right? Which doesn't even suit its value proposition. Just for example, I'm just giving an example purely, right? Let's see, there's a Web3 dating app, right? Launching under PG is stupid. It makes no sense. But let's say this Web3 dating app makes so much sense, and so much of let's say we see some value in it, and we are almost sure shot this thing that it's going to be a success. But we launching under the PG brand is stupid, right? It doesn't make any sense because it's not a lifestyle brand. It's a different. It's a working towards a different side, right? But Evolve is a lifestyle brand, right? Lifestyle brand, not just merch, but Web3 and Web2 side of utilities on the lifestyle side, essentially leveraging and using all our connections, all the VC contacts or whatever is needed to push it towards a different direction. But at the same time, all the funds or the profits coming back into the Jira group. No promises of equity for Evolve, no promises of nothing. Evolve is purely not going to be any of these kind of things under PG, like PG where we are looking at equity, or we're looking at financial whatever, like we're looking at the tokens and stuff like that. Evolve is not going to be any of those things, right? It's purely going to be a lifestyle brand, access to all the lifestyle tools or apps or dapps or whatever we develop. If you want to, it's going to focus on uh, bringing in or making it easy for the web 2 guys to jump in. As I again say, not everything what I say is what we're exactly building, like even the dating app for instance, right? Just to give you an idea of how we are thinking. We want you to just jump in as a web 2 client who does not know anything about MetaMask to buy a NFT, but then the NFT could be held on a wallet that's owned by us. So it's almost like a custodian wallet. But just because they bought this NFT with credit card, and they can again sell it, like imagine, like we used to play these mobile games, right? These gold coins or something, but you can never sell these gold coins or these characters afterwards. But now, as a from the NFT point of view, you are downloading an app, you're buying an NFT. Then imagine you can sell back the NFT as well, but you're buying with a credit card now, and you sell and you get the money deposited in your credit card, right? So Evolve is going to be on a different track, and it's not going to just be my mind that's running on the marketing or the utilities or this stuff. You will see the utility even before Evolve launches or drops, right? So it's going to cater to a different section of the crowd. So if you're looking to flip it, it's on you. But this is going to cater to a different audience. But once you get into Evolve and you like, let's say you love the Evolve's idea, concept, and the brand, you're going to learn more about ideas that you learn more about NFTs and look at what is the core products of the Evolve brand, like which is Jira, PG Genesis, Gen 2, and Jiraverse, right? So that is our aim for to on Evolve is to onboard people on from a different background and to keep services or products which do not fit under the PG narrative, right? Into Evolve, to put those products into Evolve. So I think there was a video. I'm just trying to find the video. So for those of you who might have missed it, there's a video that kind of gives a little bit of an explanation of what's the difference between PG and what's the difference between Evolve. Um, like just how why we need Evolve in the first place and why we rebranded as PG as well. So let me just try to find it. If I can find it, I'll just drop the link here. But apart from that, nothing else about Evolve at the stage. When the utility and stuff drops, you're gonna see. Any other questions?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yes, Arune.
Yeah, the question was also on Satoshi Island. So there was a partnership
Mhm.
with Satoshi Island.
Yep.
Bunyan.
Just a sec. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
can, I can answer that question. So basically, we got shot in a Satachi center. So shout out to King, that brought us this kind of connection and all that. So our project received the float in the center. That's where we can build basically office or clubhouse, whatever we want to do. So it's given to us from Satoshi Island team. So thanks to them. But yeah, that's that pretty much.
I mean, see, we do not know. It's a very new, interesting concept, right,
Yep.
Satoshi? We do not know how it's going to turn out or whatever, but we like the concept, right? So to be really open, I don't know if we can tell this, but we didn't pay for it, right? So we were given it because of not every project gets this benefit. Purely because King connected us and they liked us and they liked our vision and stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah. They basically want you guys, PG holders to be on their island. So that's pretty much the
kind
idea
of thing,
behind
right?
it.
I
Yeah.
think if I'm not mistaken, we got 10 plots, and the last sale for that one of those plots was for 9 ETH. So we got 10 of those plots for free, pretty much. we're not going to sell it or dump it just because it's going at this price, because we value what they see in us, and we really think that if it actually can deliver what they're looking to do, it can be a cracker. In the sense, like, it's a very decentralized, like an island by itself. I just can't imagine
Yeah.
how nice it would be if, once it turns out. So anybody who's looking to buy, do your own research. Just because we got it or just because Gojira has announced partnership does not mean that you got to go in and ape in. Like, you know what I mean, right? Like, so just make sure that you read about it. There's obviously risks in any NFT. Remember one thing: just because Kojira is offering, let's say, looking to work towards this equity side or whatever, right? It doesn't mean that any of these projects have to do that, because legally NFTs are consumer based projects. Okay, NFTs are consumer based projects, not equities. But we are trying to change that game. That's it. No one can legally sue any project because they do not offer equity. All right. So any of these things, even like Satoshi Island or whatever it could be, you can never sue them. It's almost impossible to sue a project because they didn't deliver this or that. Because NFTs are seen as art, and NFTs are seen as a commodity, not commodity, as a consumer based product, right? So so that's something, you know I want to make it clear. And King has spoken to them. I mean, following them for 6 months. I think we can. King was supposed to have a AMA, I think, last week or something on a grid board, but unfortunately, some really bad, some situation in his personal life. When he's fine and ready, we can probably have a AMA on the grid bot, and also on the. No, I'm not sure if the grid bot thing went ahead, but if it didn't, I think grid bot and Satoshi Island could be a topic by itself, where King could pretty much explain to guys who want to understand the risks, understand the benefits, and you could ask the questions and stuff. But personally, yes, it's got a really strong potential, if things can be delivered, the way they intended to. So yeah, that's where the Satoshi part is. To answer to Shell's questions, yes, 10 NFTs equal one land plot, but one of those 10 NFTs sold for I think one of those 10 sold for 9 ETH. So I'm not saying it's a very illiquid at this stage, but still, let's say even if it's almost like 40 to 50 ETH worth of NFTs, I would say, like, 10 plots, current sale price, I think, at the least minimum 40 ETH, 10 of them, I think. Yeah. So anyways, so that's one of those things. There's an West Coast land and stuff, each sold for like 2 ETH, 2.5 ETH. I don't know. I mean, I don't I exactly do not understand this particular thing. It's a central land. I think that's what's the main thing, because West Coast land is going for like 2 ETH or something, and there's a central land which is where all the projects are. That's why I say, like, minimum, I think 3 ETH or something. I don't know, per plot. But either ways, we got it for free, so nothing for us to lose. So we're not going to sell it for the treasury side. We're going to hold it, and whenever development starts or whatever they're doing, we would be looking to kind of have like a Jira hangout spot there as well. So that's all I know about Satoshi at this stage. Anybody else wants to get on VCs? On the VC, sorry, or ask some questions here. Just don't feel shy, guys. Just get on. Like, let's kind of bring the like kind of the VC culture kind of thing. So don't nothing. It can be a dumb question. Doesn't matter. Just come up and let's kind of just. It doesn't have to be even about project. Just you want to come up and speak about something.
Hey Shan, it's Deeth. Hey, I've got a lot of people, right, when I jump into spaces and whatnot, and even in like group chats and stuff, obviously asking about Gojira, its ecosystem, and like its vision, which we obviously receive being holders by the AMAs and those that listen, possibly listen to the recordings. But in a nutshell, is there like a FAQ or something that's been written up from the team,
Yep.
just highlighting certain points that we could maybe use to provide these people that are interested, obviously in the project,
Of course.
with. Like I don't know if there's a link that you have for that, or yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I think. I'm not sure if you attended at the start, but that's the one of the three things. The first thing I addressed was that missing, right? Which is why we kind of put RNA now as a full-time thing, and he's got like few people under him to work on the written aspects. Just even the AMAs, I accepted like it was kind of dumb for us to do all these AMAs and not post TLDRs for people who cannot attend the plus, and people who cannot listen to the entire AMAs. So I would say that's pretty much the SWOT analysis. That's our weakness, right? So I kind of spoke about the three weaknesses at the start. So from now, RNA is attending the part of our core team, and he's been with us from the start. So he's attending all these AMAs now because he's going to make like TLDR. We are hoping to provide all the moving forward, like the YouTube video links, or like for to maintain like like a almost like topic based videos library kind of thing in YouTube under the PG channel, plus a TLDR of that particular day's AMAs or VCs within 24 hours of it being done. So we couldn't focus or towards the writing part because I mentioned that we were understaffed before, but now I think this is very important because those who buys Gojira is purely because of word of mouth, or they listen to the AMAs or Twitter Spaces, or they hear from their friends or family or the ex-holders or something. But it's not something. I agree. It's not something where people just they hear about Gojira, they're like, oh, okay, I want to read about it, but they can't find anything. They're like, what's happening here? Why should I spend 8 ETH for a Genesis or 1 ETH for Gen 2? They do not get it. They just think it's another alpha group, and they pretty much like kind of like go and fall into some other project. And again, like I'm not gonna comment on that, but yeah, I think that's effectively the vision statement, the pitch deck. So pitch deck is being worked out by the Jira Money Minds, B Money and team, like a pitch deck for the high level investors to understand exactly what we are doing, and also open up the gates to external investments. So pitch decks for that, plus with proper TLDRs and basic like a short summary of what Gajira is about, what's the value and all those things. But before that, we just want to deliver those three promises before this quarter 3. So we just want to set this marketing thing, like a campaign already going on. So that's why you do not see random announcements from PG's Twitter anymore, like stating that hey, this is launching or that's launching, because we want to pretty much any announcement that we want to make sure that it reaches more people with like a proper, like a Medium article or something explaining what the product is and stuff. So it's easier for people to understand. You get access to this product or that product, or even if it's not a product, right? You got to understand why you want to be a long-term investor into this brand. You get in for a different reason, thinking that you're going to get this, that, and you're going to get rich overnight. But like you might have gotten the wrong project, because that's not what we are looking to do, not a pump and dump kind of thing. So we want to try and cater in the return side to the high-level investors with the pitch deck, the holders and other people with regular updates and TLDRs, and for newcomers with this FAQ, what you mentioned about, more than an FAQ, just like a couple of pages explaining what all we have done, who we are, like a mission statement, and all those things. So pretty much like a Medium article. So this is pretty much one of the things that was definitely missing, and that was posted in the feedback form as well by quite a few people. So that's the first, I would say, the main weakness from PG side is the written aspect, which doesn't exist so far.
Yeah, no, cool. Thanks for that. Because I do get asked a question quite a lot. I actually just got asked a question like 10 minutes ago, in a group chat from a couple people wanting to buy into the Gen 2s and just basically asking the benefits behind it. And because I've kind of been following, I guess, the journey from the start, and then jumped in, like what you said, AMAs and spaces and stuff, I got a general idea about the ecosystem and obviously what you guys want to bring to fruition. So it's just kind of hard for me to obviously phrase that into words that they'll understand, because You know, I know they're looking for something which is long term. You know what I mean? But I can only explain from my point of view, my understanding of what I know about where the direction of this is going. But yeah, obviously, once all that other information comes out, that'll be heaps better for sure.
Absolutely right. If you take Kaiju Kings, right, for instance, if somebody's like, "You, why do you want to buy Kaiju Kings?" They'll be like, "Oh, you get these tokens. Okay, fine. Number two, you can breed, and people are like, oh, nice. So that means I can get some more passive income because I can breed and sell. And number three, the team is working on a play to earn, right? So they're almost like at this stage classified as a play to earn project. I think most of you would probably agree that majority of them from the outside see Kaiju as a play to earn product, right? And if you take Llamaverse, you get access to this tool, you get access to other whitelist pods from the ecosystem and stuff, and this whitelist marketplace and stuff. So it's more seen as a utility based project, right? Like Llamas pretty much. I'm bringing just some comparing Llama, Kaiju, Kongs, and us just to because that's kind of like similar to some extent. So Llama is pretty much seen as a utility-based project because someone's asking, you're going to be like, they're bringing tools, they're bringing whitelist marketplaces and stuff. All right. And if you see CyberKongs, it's like, it's kind of hard again, but CyberKongs is again, the VX has got this play to earn kind of aspect. So CyberKongs is more again seen as a play to earn plus alpha aspect because Wall Street Kongs was one of the first alpha channels to open up and kind of get the name and stuff, and again seen as a play to earn and stuff, right? So Gojira, I think people are it's confusing for a lot of outsiders in the NFT space, is because you cannot classify us as a play to earn, you cannot classify us as an alpha group alone, you cannot put us under just a utility based side because we are trying to tap into multiple different markets and get a brand out going because all the other aspects can be replicated. I don't know if you guys can agree, whether it's a whitelist marketplace or whether it could be tools or whether it could be play to earn. To an extent, can be replicated by a new project that's coming into the space, and then has enough funds. For instance, like for example, DigiDaiku could make all the functions, all the features, right? But what would make Gojira different? What would make PG different? It would be its thought process, the target audience, and in the sense like you do not want to. How do I put it? Like you're getting a product with a 50x, 60x valuation, right? With NFTs, you get like a product with 50x, 60x valuations in the sense you mint for 0.05 or mint for zero point 0.1, and it's going at 3 ETH, 5 ETH, 10 ETH. It's impossible to maintain or sustain the growth or this floor if you're just going to do a common thing, right? Which anybody can do, right? So when NFTs are high risk, high reward, why do you want to take that risk with just doing a common stuff? Right? Why do you want to, how would you sustain it? Okay, let's say you deliver all the deliverables that you promised, like, you're going to give this tool, that tool, this access, this bot, this whitelist, this merch, and everything. All right, perfect. But how is it going to push it beyond this point, right? You're going to burn out your funds by developing these outdated products. Outdated in the sense like because that's going to be available. Let's say we do a whitelist marketplace, right? But you go and there's another project that comes out, does a whitelist marketplace. You get an access for 1/10 or 1/20th the price. It's dead. And same thing with tools. There's always going to be better tools coming up, cheaper tools coming up. So the question is, the project will sustain, but can it sustain a 30x, 40x evaluation and then still continue to grow upwards from there, right? So what cannot be easily replicated? I'm just giving one example. I mean, I'm open to any debates or something on this. Jira Tank, right? For example, right? Where holders with ideas come in, obviously priority to Genesis, but Gen 2, it's open to Gen 2s as well, right? I don't want to talk too much on this, but because Amresh is here, but we want to pretty much drive a proper marketing, uh, uh, you know, uh, this thing for it. We were supposed to launch it like a week back. It's all ready. The episodes were ready, but we want to just make sure more people know about it. But Jira Tank, for instance, is not easy to replicate because you cannot replicate something where you do not have the VCs or external investors behind with money ready to pour in because of the ideas. No, not everyone's got the connections. I can almost certainly guarantee that the connections what I have or PG has got for funding, or even for me, I can be a personal investor, which a lot of projects do not have. I started crypto in 2015, 16, and I've got enough funds on my at my disposal to invest. This is me personally, which I can almost guarantee that the projects in our range, let's say the tier two range, not like bases and doodles, they do not have that. Number two is our connections. Apart from this, the connections with people from Asia, Southeast Asia and UAE, who's ready to again invest in into products or ideas because they trust us, right? Plus also the VCs or the connections where if the idea is good, I could get you a couple of $1 million to get this done. We do the marketing, we do connections, we do the dev work and everything. And purely for an idea, you're getting equity into a product, right? So this particular thing is not easy to replicate. Just telling this as one of the products what we're working on. Just because tomorrow Jira is launching a Jira tank, no fucking way there's going to be another competitor or another project come up and be like, okay, let me launch this dash tank, and then okay, I've come up with an idea, but then this team is not able to fucking pay for the idea because they do not have it. They do not have the connections. Why they do not have the connections? Because not everyone has been in this space early on. Not just here in the crypto side. Not everyone goes and meets people. We met fucking so many people in person. The last, as I said, the 6 months, we had been focusing on networking, while majority of the projects had been focusing on more drops, raising more funds. How do we mint out at a high mint price and stuff, than the networking side, right? I'm like, this is something that we cannot, not easy to replicate. Like projects, it's not easy to for projects to replicate. I think a lot of other projects also kind of like acknowledge this, okay? Because I've been told this by kaijus, I've been even told this by llamas, because any connections they need, we have been pretty much were able to kind of like, kind of we have got them. They even made some, even recently, right? They even made some like, they made like kind of jokingly when llama told like, shit, even if I ask for somebody to tie my shoes, you're going to find someone because you're well connected, right? This is a compliment, like, just coming from another founder. So the connections what we got is not easy to replicate. So this is what we want to use and build our products around it, because whatever you build can be replicated, but shouldn't be easy to replicate, if you know what I mean, right? Let it be done. All right, someone else is going to come and you guys itself can come and try to replicate, but it shouldn't be easy for you guys to do it, because you do not either have the funds or the connections or the ideas or whatever, or the reach, right? So this is what PG is about, right? Like trying to bring in like almost like as I said, Web3 VCs, almost like a Web3 VC, or almost like a Web3 Shark Tank, or almost like a Web3 whatever, like, you want to put in, which is not, shouldn't be easy to replicate. All right, so I stop it here, but just I hope that kind of like, gives a little bit of an idea as well, like what we're trying to do here. So this is pretty kind of not easy to explain for you guys, especially when someone else asks, oh, why should I buy a Gojira? And you're like, oh shit, I don't know what to tell. I like Shan, I like the team, I like Amresh, I like Jamie, but AMS are good, but I don't know what to say, because I can understand that um, that difficulty there, right? Like to explain exactly, because I swear, right? If we had breeding, right, it's not. I think you guys can agree, it's not hard to launch breeding or something, right? If you had breeding where there's Jira babies, and if you as a holder of Gojira, you can just burn the tokens to keep getting these babies. 100% there would have been more sales. Again, I think, I don't know if anyone disagrees here, but 100%, um, you know, it would have been a much different scenario. Like it's if our focus was just on trying to somehow sell out our project, or like try to keep pumping the secondaries or something, right? But what is the point again, like for us to just launch those babies without any proper idea, or just because we want to buy time, right? So this is why we stopped on that idea, and everyone was doing that, so it didn't just seem to make sense for us. But yeah, I mean, as I said, I completely understand it's not easy, but it's going to change, right? That's why we saw the feedback, and we pretty much want to ensure that you guys do not have that problem moving forward, where if someone asks what it is, you don't have to get stuck, you don't know what to say or something. So you wouldn't have to get stuck in that sense. So so that's pretty much what I would say. And the writing aspect, 100%. You want to make sure that, it's easy for others outside the ecosystem to kind of understand what we're doing. See this one. I'm not even kidding, right? This is something I didn't just make up, right? Like, this is just happened like 2 days back. I'm just posting in PGAMA. This is just I'm just showing this just to show a little bit about our connections, right? Lama wanted something, right, and I was able to connect, right? And this was a statement that was made like 2 days back. I'm just posting. I posted this in the PGAMA chat. I'm just posting this just to show what kind of importance or how important connections are, and how we differentiate ourselves from other projects in the space, because our target or focus or our strength has been networking, right? So if someone DMs me with an amazing idea, we could make that a reality within a minute. How you're getting access? By being part of this ecosystem, right? How else do you get access to in Web 2? Imagine this: if Mark Cuban or my idol, right? Kind of like the person whom I like is Mr. Wonderful, right? So one of the guys from Shark Tank. So if one of these guys, if they launch NFT and be like, yo, 3,000 people have your ideas, pitch it, I'll make this a reality. Like, because I've got the connections and I've got the funds. Imagine the value of that NFT, because you're dying in Web 2 to get your product out, but you do not have the money, you do not have the reach, you do not have the connections, nothing. Right, from Web 2, you have an amazing idea, you're probably not that well off, or you do not have the connections. Just imagine how many people would be wanting that opportunity, to just for someone who's got these connections to hear their ideas and get this out, right? As I said, we're not limited to this. All right, just remember that. I'm just giving one example, because that's something that we already leaked a little bit. That there's something called Jira Tank. So I'm only able to talk about the product that we leaked about, and not about other products that we are developing as well. But just think of you know the value that can bring, right? So it's not easy to, again, going back to the point, it's not easy to replicate that. It's not easy to put a tangible value to that. Not easy to put a tangible value just to that one feature of holding a Gojira, for instance, right? So, I'm not gonna. I mean, I don't know if this is a good idea to bring this up, but let's say Jabba and Sherloms, being a Genesis holders, launched their Chubby Jiras. I'm not gonna comment on how what the product is doing or what they're doing at this stage, and I know what some of the things that's happening. I know the team is working hard, but obviously people, and they look at the floor and they cry and all those things. It's a very common thing, but how do you think they could have had their little bit of their vision, for a chance for their vision to even come to life? Being a Gojira holder, the community came forward, they supported, we helped them in whatever way we could. They minted out and they have the funds to bring out the product, or their IRL experience into a business model, right? Because they're trying to bring out a business model. I'm really excited for the announcement from Chubby Jiras as well, based on the discussion what we had like about 5 days back, me, Jamie, and the team with them. So the thing is, like, trying to bring these kind of aspects into reality, not that easy. Being just like, just coming to the space now and being like, yo, I've got an idea, but no one's going to buy your idea. So yeah, I'll stop it here, but that's pretty much PGs, and it's hard to explain in online, and that's where I also got a hard lesson from Steve. So Steve Naiko, I think. We are doing some sessions and stuff. We're not just like leaving this as it is. He had a session with me, Jamie, and the team, and himself, asking some questions, exactly trying to understand and make a deck. He's a Genesis holder, and he's a management consultant for, I think, 20 plus years of experience. He just brought us questions like, what is PG, define PG, what do you want people to think about when they hear this name, and all those kind of things. What do you want to bring up? And that's why we realized, how important it is to it's nice to explain what you're doing, but you cannot keep doing this every day to 100 people or 200 people. You gotta give out one liner or a two liner for people outside to just read it and straight up understand. These guys are trying to be a Web3 VC. They're trying to be a Web3 Shark Tank. They're trying to be a Web3, Silicon Valley of Web3, for instance, right? Um, I don't know if I leaked that, but that's the narrative that we are spinning. So, in our LinkedIn page, we just created a couple of days back because we are moving towards a different kind of, again, as I said, like we're making a lot of changes and progress. So, our LinkedIn page, pretty much our explanation or our definition of PG is now Silicon Valley of Web3, right? What does that mean, right? Now you don't have to explain too much, all right? When we have this narrative spun around and have those products ready for that, right? Now they're like, why should I buy PG? All right, PG is a Silicon Valley of Web3, right? And if someone asks, why do you say that? You don't have to worry because there's going to be things now written, right? So that's our LinkedIn page. By the way, it's under construction. Just started. It's just a start there. But this narrative of Silicon Valley of Web3 is not present. But when you think of what PG is trying to do, that is what we are. We are having a play to earn in 3 years. We're having a Web3 service. We are having utility as well. And we are having a whitelist marketplace. We are having Shark Tank. We are having tools coming out. And, we also have metaverse side of things. So how do you put all these things into one? Which is something that's either the projects are focusing on one of these things. That's when this Steve pretty much helped us bring this out. Steve and the marketing team and Amresh, they kind of kept asking these questions again and again and again, and then we came up with the term that makes a lot more sense for us now, right? So before we didn't know. I mean, we couldn't get it. We were just like, we're explaining to people, and whoever explained, they're like, yeah, amazing, that's nice, I'm buying it. But it's super hard, for us to have come out with this term because we're breaking our head. What is our tagline going to be? What is our one liner that people can explain? So now, this clarity for us was really important. Like, it's really important for us to have this kind of a clarity. Not that we didn't have this clarity before, it's just that we didn't know how to exactly explain it in a short term, for people. So, the narrative that we are gonna work around the PG, right? Which is gonna be a niche which doesn't exist, or not many projects are doing that. Like, if you take Bases or Doodles, we are this unique aspect of ours. Doodles is not servicing or providing any kind of service to holders. Bases is moving towards the metaverse side. Clonex is moving towards the merge side. Moonbirds, I don't know what they're doing. And each and Llamaverse towards the utility, Kaiju towards the play to earn. So when all these things are defined, now PG is going to be defined as Silicon Valley of Web3, right? That's it. I'll leave it there. But now the narrative is a single line narrative is set, and with our posts and our products and ideas, when it's getting launched, you guys will have an easier time explaining, or even for you to understand, okay, why are they calling themselves this? What is Silicon Valley? First of all, series of companies and tech startups and tech giants all at the same spot, right? Where it's worth multi-billions, and there's not a single, they're not limited just to A, B, and C. They've got like whatever, like, merch companies there, they've got tech companies there, they've got gaming companies there, and everything, right? So that is what we are looking to do, like a one-stop solution for businesses to just come to us, or anybody with an idea to run their business from scratch to end, like consultancy, Web3 consultancy. Right? So yeah, this is the thing that we have taken. It's a step-by-step process for us. That's where the communication is, and I'm glad you guys are here, like who are spending this time to listen to us. I know that you guys are gonna stay, because rarely do I. This is what somebody told me, right? When they joined Gojira, and their friend, they convinced them they couldn't join, and then they came to one of the AMAs and then they joined. It's the point what they told was, Shan, like, it's very hard not be bullish on PG in the long term if we listen to the team's AMAs or VCs. But from the outside point of view, who do not have the time to do that, look at the art, they don't think that art is super unique for them to invest in. They look at the outside, the announcements, and I don't keep shilling and stuff. I'm not a huge influencer like Gary Vee or something. So from the outside perspective, there's no reason for them to look into buying, except like heavy convincing by friends or family, which I don't actually want because it's important to understand. So we cannot expect everybody to listen to our AMAs and spaces, right? So AMAs and spaces, the aim is not for us to pump our floor, but to ensure that our holders understand what we are doing. That's it. Okay. The marketing aspect to reach out to people outside the PG ecosystem is going to be separate. So bringing in new people who do not even know about PG. As I said, even Evolve, right? Even Evolve, no one even knows, majority, right? They don't even know that it's linked to Gojira or Shan, right? They do not know it's linked to Gojira or Shan. So what does this mean? Does this mean that we are just launching another project where I don't want people to know that we are connected to it? Absolutely not. New eyes and attention, and not just my followers or my holders buying back into the same ecosystem and become bag holders again. Like, we want to expand the base. And how do you expand the base? Maybe that's why Jiraverse kind of became an issue, because only people within Gojira's followers bought Jiraverse, Gen 2s and Genesis. So there was not real new holder addition to the ecosystem, right? But as I said, it's a small supply again, and I think what we're going to do, I'm not too concerned. And the guys who are legit, they trusted and they believe in the team, I'm sure they would be rewarded. But the thing is, it didn't bring in new holders or new eyes, right? Evolve doesn't have any link to Shan or Gojira, in the sense it's following our Twitter page and stuff. I do not retweet. Gojira do not retweet. Amresh does not retweet, or any of at least the main guys in the team. They do not just go and retweet that. Try to bring in our followers and our community into Evolve. It allows people to new eyes to come in. Imagine Evolve is our, kind of like our, let's say, kind of like on at this stage, say Yin Yang Gang, or I'm not comparing anything, but just bringing in the hype side of things, or maybe Meme Land or something, as because we got 50K followers without doing stupid tactics. No other people follow and stuff, purely from our Twitter, purely from word of mouth and stuff. We reached 50,000 followers for Evolve, right? Sav and Amresh and team have been doing really good job in that. Without me retweeting from my Twitter or Gojira's handle, we reached like 50K without doing a lot of like stupid giveaways, but purely within the Twitter side of things. They're spending time to kill out all the bots and stuff as well. So this is bringing new eyes. Now imagine when we get on the spaces for Evolve someday, when we are ready and we start talking about the PG ecosystem, right? And explaining what's the difference between the PG ecosystem and Evolve in Evolve's Twitter. How many new eyes would see what's PG ecosystem, right? So this is our intention and this is our idea, right? Not that we want to be disassociated from Evolve, but purely a different kind of a marketing strategy, a project which is open for VC funding. I don't want PG to go for VC funding, but Evolve is something that we can do it without losing our identity, right? No one can force me or Jamie to do this for PG, but when we go to VC and they take Evolve, they can force, but I don't care at that point, because this is the differentiation. Right? PG is like a homemade product, like a homemade, a natural organic product, right? And Evolve is like the big guys game kind of thing, like bringing all the like, let's say the big guys game, in the sense like, why did Digidayuku pump? Because there was VC involvement. Did Azuki pump? Because VC were involved. So Evolve is something we are open for VCs. It could be a VC pump, whatever, like VC involvement, connections and stuff, art based IP. So that's how we differentiate PG and Evolve. So I don't think we are going to whitelist all Gen 2s for Evolve. So just this stage, because again, it's bringing in the same set of people. But we might open up like a first come serve, opening up for Gen 2s or whatever for, not decided yet. Don't take my word for anything now. I'm not the marketer, or I'm not determining the strategies. But essentially, we do not want to give all whitelist for Gen 2, right? We might open up like a pledge system for the Gen 2s. If you really want to be a part of the ecosystem, you can block the spot early on before it's open to the public. So as a Gen 2 holder, you could mint maybe say one per person before it opens up for the public or the whitelisters, maybe something like that, right? But definitely not all whitelist for Gen 2, like 100% we're not going to do. But Genesis gets a free drop, because we want to keep up our promise what we made for Genesis in the start. Anything we drop, we give them one free mint. So Genesis would be getting a free mint for Evolve at this stage, but definitely not all whitelist for Gen 2 for sure. Right, so I hope I answered. I didn't want to talk too much about Evolve, but I at least not too many people here today, so just I hope at least I was able to clarify for a few people here. And feel free to spread the word when somebody asks you questions. At least you guys, if you see, and the TLDR from RNA would also help to an extent. We would put Evolve in the marketplace later, but 100%. Like, come on, like we wanna. It's gonna be dumb if we want to give other communities spots and then not put it in our own marketplace. But I want to put it in our pretty much in our seed gasless marketplace would be a good. Just think of this, guys. Okay, I want you guys to think once again. Let's say Evolve, we are organically able to grow to 100K followers the next few weeks or something, right? Natural hype, and the art so far has got like really good feedback. I mean, I'm being really frank here. Genesis or Gen 2, like I know the art side of things, we didn't like, it wasn't like mind blowing or like we didn't get like so much of feedback. But for Evolve, we are 100%, we are getting a really good feedbacks for the artwork as such. For those of you who do not know, this is the link for Evolve. So it's getting like, it's got like really good feedback even from founders and stuff, because it's a common trait, keeping it very simple, but also allowing multiple different skin types, different races, not just like kind of keeping in like, just it's going to open up the diversity aspect to an extent, like in the sense, even having like different kind of skin types. It's not just about the color, it's about also like appreciating our own body for what it is, in the sense different kind of colors, different kind of looks, different kind of hairstyles, different kinds of traits. Not everything has to be like a supermodel, right? Not everything has to have like perfect skin, all right? So if I want to leave it at that spot. So it's going to allow a lot more people to kind of uh, look. Say someone's got a vitiligo, for instance, right? Or say someone's got even unibrow, for instance, or someone's got like a albinism, right? Why can't these be a representation of an art, right? Why can't these all these skin types? Because some of us here might be having those types, and why does it have to be avoided? Why does all the artwork just has to be purely white skinned, or you're brown skinned or something, or whatever, like or whatever, but no other types, right? So this is exactly what the artwork for Evolve is, and Amresh has pretty much been doing a fantastic job so far with directing the artists. So it's again not just an artist from the community. So we have actually taken artists from the community plus actual artists as well. It's, so as I said, not just like Gojira where everything is from the community. So it's a mix of experts and other things as well. So that's the art direction for Evolve. So everyone will have something for them to relate it to be like their forever PFP kind of thing, right? So you can't just classify it as like anime. You can't classify it as just like it's a skin type dominated by white or brown or black or whatever, or like braids or something. You should be able to link yourself to, because I do not see a lot of those kind of different skin types. Why should those different skin types not be in, is the question what we had. So pretty much that's where I think it's going to be. So now for you guys to imagine when we naturally grow this, right? Because it's got its own set of like slow hype built up, and it's not being retweeted or this thing by influencers and stuff at this stage, nor like although they're reaching out for whitelist spots, but they do not know what's the plan of this, so they're not adding this in their list of hyped mints and all those kind of things yet, right? But imagine when that thing start happening, and then we go on the spaces and announce that the way to get whitelist is through this Jira marketplace, for instance, with Jira tokens, for instance, right? That's bringing in a new set of eyes and attention and explaining about the product of Jira group as well, right? Because as a newcomer, being who's whitelisted for Evolve, now you're learning about the Jira ecosystem as well, so which can allow you probably to even read more into the Jira ecosystem. If you want to buy in, you're going to buy in, right? So, but Evolve, I think with all the other artwork that's going to be released, and with more people that's going to see all the other non-common traits and stuff, I expect a lot more, attention coming into the product and the project. So, yeah, looking forward to, you know, see how that's going to take. Closer when we are ready to mint, right, Grandpa? Like for your question, when will we know about the Evolve whitelist? Closer towards the launch. We don't want to launch now, and we already just launched our, let's say, our Jiraverse. So we don't want to just appear like, yeah, we're just coming in and launching just for the sake. We want to ideally we have the funds, right? No more reasons. So we want to set things up in the sense like it can be utility or it can be partnerships with major brands and stuff. We want to try and set few things up before it's ready for launch, right? Don't want to be like, yo, you come and wait for 3 months and then your product is going to be out, and then that's okay for a Gojira side of things because we didn't have the funds, right, when we started. Now that we have the funds for this thing, right? It's again coming under Jira Group and stuff, but since we have the funds, the product can be developed to an extent even before the mint, right? So once we are ready, then more information about the whitelist or how do you claim. And first of all, you need to understand you don't want to just get a whitelist just because it's okay. It's a product that might flip. We want people to first like all the whitelist spots are being handpicked, by the way, for Evolve, right? In the sense, so far I think 450 people have been picked. All the retweets and all the comments, yeah, Sav's been handpicking them based on their profile, not because of the followers, based on what they do. Are they just doing it just retweets for whitelist, or have they commented something nice, or have they at least made someone's day, or at least have they put some useful content in their Twitter? It doesn't matter. Maybe it can have one like, right? But you don't want to be an account that just goes around only retweeting and just putting some nasty comments or something. So he's spending some time picking up whitelist spots, people in the whitelist spots for Evolve, and adding them to the list. Like those who have made it, they're added to this particular list, right? So pretty much, right? So 453 people, looking at the demographics exactly, looking at what these guys are doing. Just because you have 10,000 followers, we started this before youth, but not like youth list where you're asking. We are not asking you to present your pitch, but we are doing the analysis ourselves in the back. Simply put, I don't know if Amresh should agree if that was the right term, but it's essentially that's what I would say. It's almost like youth list, but we are doing our own research about the people who are who are commenting on it, and not just people who just keep retweeting and stuff, but actually have posted something decent. And it can be, as I said, like you go and click one of the guys there, say like I'm just randomly clicking someone like Pyro, right? He's not even following me or Gojira, but he's not just a person who has been posting about what I can see here is not just a person who's just been posting about retweets and stuff. He's put about his views about NFTs in general, views about Web3, random topics, and not just a guy who's trying to get whitelist, right? So it's a lot of work, but 453 people, that's why only 453 people have been picked in like a month and a half or stuff, because Sav's almost like handpicking them to an extent, right? So yeah, I think that's where our difference is. So useless in a way, but where we do our pretty much like checks in the Twitter accounts and stuff before picking up, and not just pick up some random, uh, you know, just a retweet bot. So yeah, that's one clue I would say, like how people are being picked. So yeah. Right. Any other questions apart from Evolve? Anything with Gojira side? Anyone wants to come up? Any other just about the NFT space or cryptos in general or something? Maverick, why don't you come on Twitter, like on our VC, man? We are like the OG guy, and everyone knows you, but never, I haven't even heard your voice.
Fine then.
So
Hey man.
should I
Yo,
post?
good morning.
Thanks for coming up. Being a huge supporter for Jira, so it's really nice to talk with you at last.
Yeah, likewise.
Man, should we post your YouTube link here to get some more followers because you're doing it for a good cause?
That'd actually be nice. That'd actually be really nice.
Right. So I would really appreciate if you guys could give a follow to our MVP Maverick. He's trying to do a really nice thing. He started this YouTube as a way to try and raise some more funds because he's planned to donate $500,000 as one of his life goals. So he's just trying out different ventures, different types, and he's starting up his YouTube channel as well. So just give it a follow if you guys could. Just supporting our guy for a really good cause.
Oh man, thanks, boss.
No
It's
worries, man.
yeah, I'm really one of the things that I do in my life right now is really just that. I like to help out people, man. I really do value um relationships more than anything else, which is
Yep.
why I've never even listed my my Gen 1 and everything like that. I sold my some Gen 2 because I needed some funds, but my Gen
Fine.
1 is never being touched, never seen the sell button because I really do value relationships, and I like to give back to everybody who's helped me. Even one day I want to do something nice for Jira, for Go Jira. Maybe host like an event party or such,
You
and
have
because I
already been giving so much Jira tokens giveaways. I think you pretty much were the one who started, if I'm not mistaken, giving away Jira tokens in Twitter for just like no reason. Like I remember. So that's really nice. I would say like what you are doing.
yeah, yeah, but I'm looking on Twitter now and I'm getting jealous. I see a lot of kaiju events, so I feel like I got to do some more. I didn't make I thought I had posted it yesterday about these events. It was a Society POS. I don't know how you say it, Society POS, and then
Mm,
Goldilocks. They're really doing a thing over there with these events, and I was like,
yep.
dang man, if I could just do one for another one for Goji. I mean, the last one was fire. Apparently, I wasn't there, but I mean, according to what everybody says, even from different communities, it was apparently really, really good. And I saw the feedback, and I also saw the videos and the pictures and everything, and it looked really dope. That was the one time I could probably honestly say I was really jealous that I didn't go. I was
Yeah.
really jealous that I didn't go.
I mean, I honestly, right? Right. So I don't want to FOMO a lot of people, but probably one of the best times in our lives, honestly. Like that event was.
Dang.
I think everybody, especially the team, I think it's memories for life. It's kind of like we
Oh,
turn from colleagues to kind of like family, and even with the holders, whomever we met. I'd be surprised if any of the holders whom we met would ever like sell their jiras in their life, in the sense like spent a lot of time, and there's a couple of them who went participated in our team meetings and stuff. They're like, wait, what's happening here? Why am I even like sitting in and these guys are chatting about the team discussions and stuff? And he appreciated how like we treated almost like everybody like our family, especially like so yeah, I mean, I'm hoping for another one. Not now. We don't want to just turn out into a, if I might say, another PXN. So we want to just make sure that we have a valid reason for to celebrate. Let's reach a few of our milestones we hit hard, and then the next one I think we're not going to do in Asia. I think we gotta do it in the US, or 100%. I think it's really unfair we keep targeting Asia, so it's probably going to be US, or I think mostly your US or Europe, but I mean, mostly US I would say. I think our holders deserve it, and we got to have like a really sick event in the US.
well, definitely. If whenever that happens, I'll definitely make that one.
Yeah.
Um, I went through a lot. I mean, a lot of life changes recently that didn't afford me. That's why I couldn't join any of the VCs as much as I wanted to. I didn't have the ability, even though I was on them. I could never speak on them. I could never post my picture online. I could never dox myself because of what I did before. It's one of those things where, hey, if you do that, you'll be in trouble. So I was like, okay. But once I changed careers, that's when I sent you and a few others my docs image first, and then afterwards I docs myself, and because I want to do. I mean, I just have a lot I want to do. I mean, even especially for Gojira, seeing as though this is the first. It's not easy. One of the things that people I don't think realize it's not easy to find uh, projects in the NFT space that's really caring and loving as Gojira is. It really isn't. I mean, look, the first project. I mean, I think it's the story of everybody almost. The first project got into was a rug, and was sitting there defending them and so many others until it just became like stupidity. And I was like, dang man, this is they ran off with the funds. Yep, they're gone. And then just looking and seeing so many different projects out there, and then you're thinking that it's gonna do well, and then at the end it just screws you over. Like you see all these hype projects coming out. I mean, after your first one, you kind of learn and you see, you're like, okay, I can see where this is going. Like I was telling my brother even about the whole PXN situation before it happened, because history just constantly repeats itself often. And I would always ask myself about, hey, what project are they actually doing? What are they bringing out? It's just nice art. Art is dope. Don't get me wrong, but like, what else is there to add? And then you see so many different things. So when you finally find one good one, it's good to just stay there. Even one of my other family members, they were technically an OG, but they just never carried on, and then they never got that. They could have been a Gen 1 holder, but they
Yeah.
just never held. They just never stayed. And I said, well, you see now you see that they're still here, and they're one of the only projects that are out there, and actually truly does show care and love for the community. That's something that every project like says. Every project, and of course the shillers of those projects. Oh, this project, man, I love it because one thing I love about this is that they're so amazing, so friggin' amazing. They do this, they do that. In reality, it's not even like that. But you've seen through the test of time, bear market, bull market, Gojira is still there. Gojira is still doing a thing. You have kept your promise from the very beginning, which I still remember. I don't know those few of those who are still here from the OG side remember, but I remember you once made a post saying that when you were still just like a small fish, and you said that no matter what or how big I get, I'll always help out the small creators, people who bigger creators won't touch or won't even bother to talk to or give their time to, because I remember how it was. And I've seen that even through the test of time, you've always done that. You've never stopped helping those people. You've never stopped. You even gave a chance to small creators, even though some screwed you over. I still remember all the names too, by the way. You know, every
Yeah.
single last one of them. Of course, not to start anything. I'm not going to mention any names, but it's. I still remember all those things, and even to this day, you've still been doing that, helping out these people, even the small creators who nobody knows their name. You still help them out and everything, and I find it real virtuous. And even in um, my in real life, day to day activities, these are the kind of people that I look for. I don't mess around with all kinds of just random people and all kinds of people who do nonsense. I value, like I said, good relationships, however they come, and this is what I look for. I look for people who are like this. When I find people like this, I don't like to ever let them go. Whatever I can do. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks a lot for that. I think it's credit goes to the entire team as such, like because although I'm like I was kind of like the face of the project in terms of the Twitter and stuff. It's impossible if the team didn't feel the same way. When we announce that we give away our Gen 2s or we give away a whitelist spots or we give away a lot of our other perks that we get, and I mean it's something like we raised a lot of funds even for the Ukraine this thing. The more than 100 grand just from the Ukraine this thing. So we have been trying to like I see random acts of kindness like kind of thing like almost like a RAOK kind of thing like happening amongst the by the Gajira holders. It's because of the team because at the start the team has to be aligned with your ideas and have to be ready for it. Plus them also coming up the similar thing, right? When I'm gonna be like, guys, let's not take whitelist spots for the team, let's give it back, and it's very easy. They can be like, Shan, what are you talking about? Every team is taking that, and we should, we need it. We need to make more money and all those kind of things. And for them to be like, yeah, sure, I think that makes sense. We it's almost like a happy wife, happy life kind of thing. So it's a happy community, is like almost like a happy project. But the problem again, like there's one small problem in this space, is that, like you told me about, like that I was helping all these small guys and stuff, and I still do, more so in the back now, because I did not take money from any of these guys, and either they turned out to be like selfish, in the sense like they didn't even bother about us after they kind of minted out and stuff, and they didn't keep up their promises, or they just rugged and ran away. They spoke
Yeah.
something different. And it seemed like, oh, Shan's just an influencer who kind of can pump and dump. I'm not saying everybody, say like two bad apples out of the 10 apples or something, but the two can get highlighted. So that's why I stopped publicly posting which are the people I'm helping, because I feel like help can be done even from the back. Don't have to make it public that I'm helping these guys or that team or something. So, I generally see the reason why we wanted to do that help was because we struggled so much when we started PG without having the connections, and we are like, guys, just hear us out, right? And there's no one to even hear us out, and they just thought like, these guys are just some another dumb fucks coming out with a, like 333 collection and stuff. It was a really hard step, almost from scratch, right? Like from zero, legit zero. I would say Lama also. I would give that credit to their team as well, because they also started like literally from zero, but they started a little earlier, so it was much easier at the time, right? But for us, it was super hard. So I don't if there's legit a project that's got some ideas and that's got that passion, we want to help them so that they don't face the same issue. That's a win-win thing. At the end of the day, it's a business as well. You help them, you get an equity in their business, add it to the PG ecosystem, get some lot of whitelist spots in return, give it back to the community. I see, we saw that as a win-win. But unfortunately, a lot of them in the Web3 space see that differently, right? So, I mean, not many know that in Web2, Warren Buffett is like an advisor to 100 plus projects, out of which 80% of them don't even make past the second seed round, right? This is the truth. Like, you guys can check how many projects all these big names are advisors for in Web2, right? For companies and stuff, right? But they doesn't mean that everybody makes it, right? Like almost like majority of the Web2 projects, they go down the drain because they're all startups. You cannot guarantee success. It's not like Midas Touch, where as soon as Warren Buffett enters and all the projects are gonna. So that part of it was and is still missing for sure, like that understanding of that. So the safest thing to do is like do it in silence, not just kind of blow out that, yeah, you're helping this project, you're involved with this and that, except like one or two of those projects. But I really like your vision and appreciate it, and thanks a lot for your support.
Oh, absolutely. I have to keep going until eventually Gary V joins. I'm gonna get that guy eventually.
Oh man, like Gary Vee, I don't know, like yeah, I mean,
Just wearing
Gary
him
Vee
down. Just wearing him down. Just wearing him down.
is gonna ultimately see it. That's how PA
Yeah.
got in, right? Technically, Gary Vee, I think, saw the JBNFTs guy or something, but I mean, I really appreciate it.
So definitely.
Right. So thanks, man. Anybody else? The questions? Maverick, I really for those of you who do not know, is like the of the OGs from day one, and I think you might have seen him on Twitter, like going around literally like a big strong advocate for Gojira and such. So yeah. Right. Any other questions? Anybody else before we wrap this up? It's open even to if you want to ask anything to our other members, Amresh and Jamie as well, and G is also here. Just want to ask something to them. Or I would actually like Amresh to come up and like give his, because I don't think you guys would have heard a lot from him.
Yeah, it might be good for Amresh to talk a little bit about the structured information or communication going forward.
Sure, sure. How you guys, man? So I'll tell you guys what the challenges we have, and then I will go into like what's the proposed solution, right? That the you know members in the community has always pointed out that communication within the PG ecosystem is lacking, right? And the fact is that it has been always something we knew of, but the idea was that how do we balance that messaging with what we're doing, but still have some sort of impact in terms of pushing out messages that is relevant in the space, right? So like from a technical analysis point where you hear certain, for example, right, the ETH merge, everyone knew it's coming up, but then the price has already been factored in the conversations that has been going with the ETH price point, right? And from a project planning perspective, it has always been a challenge. How do we balance with still having that aspect of pushing out messaging in a certain way that allows us to be that Gojira is being innovative and PG has been one step ahead of the curve with respect to those type of things. And it has always been an ongoing challenge, right? So just to give you guys an idea of what we're doing to address that. So we started with this weekly AMA that every single day we're pushing out AMAs that allows our community, and it has been strategically done within our server because sometimes we may leak things or whatever, but we don't want where it's not our goal to have our members buy into the system, right? The branding has to be strong enough where some people may not just resonate with the message, and that's fine, right? They see PG as a quick flip, and that's quite okay. But at the end of the day, it's for our holders themselves to understand where the future, when it is we identify that PG will have no more mints, it's not our goal to be hyped up and be like what most of the other projects are doing, big news ahead, stay tuned and we're releasing some information. That's not the goal. The goal is that we have a very niche community and really being the content expert or the experts there of that specific messaging. So we started off with this weekly AMAs. I think it has been a resounding success. And moving forward, what the goal is that we're going to have much more of content around the weekly AMAs for the benefit of our holders, not really as keeping you guys posted what's going on. That's what the Sunday town hall with the founders are. But it's more like, for example, someone has a good idea. What's the next step? How do we get it out into the space? How do we write a business plan? How do we consider marketing? How do we find a co-founder, right? A lot of people, there's so much information about these things that people just don't know about. And that's the goal of these weekly AMAs, right? So, last week we had artists and what they look at. We're going to have much more about business development and these type of things so that our own holders then start to become empowered enough to do their own activities, right? Start their own business, start their own hustle, start their advisory, because not everyone is meant to be a creator, right? It's quite okay for you to be in a team with a set of skills that complement it. But what does that look like? How do you add your value? So, the weekly AMAs is the first step in towards empowering our community to be these voices and be these leaders moving forward. But even still, our communication itself needs to have a structured approach where, as Shan mentioned before, where people can understand what's the project and what's the goal. So moving forward, right, we started with this TLDR that we will have for these weekly AMAs, so that everyone can be, understand what's going on from a point by point perspective. But then we have started the work, and it's on an ongoing aspect where we're going to have much more written articles about our project, right? Whether it be, the Medium articles or within our website itself. Guden and his team has been doing a lot of work into building a new version of our website, right? So that's something that's going to come up. We're very excited to see what that is, and I think the clear messaging of what PG is going to really resonate with our holders. And our goal is to find the 5 to 10% of the wider community that resonates with that message. The goal is not to get the entirety of the community, is to be the leader in the niche that we resonate with. So moving forward, our voice, our tone, our content that we create is revolving around that specific niche. And that's where we go. So as the messaging changes, we're no longer just an NFT project, but we're a Web3 startup that has a whole dynamic that's untouched in the space, and that's the value that we're looking to bring there. So communication is something that for us to get into those circles we need to have, right? Shan started off the LinkedIn page. That's an untapped market that we are going to be that decisive factor in. Right, I posted something in the chat. Right, you have an e-commerce business or you have a Web2 business, and you understand that Web3 is the future. You understand it, but you have no idea who to go to for Web3 adoption. Right, the most you may know is BYC. The most you may know because you come from outside of the space, Doodles. Right, or you may know of Azuki or all of these things. But how accessible is that team to help you get your business into Web3 adoption? That's where PG is going to resonate. That messaging in there. Right? How do we pivot your business to have Web3 adoption? So it's the same learning curve, it's the same cycle curve as when social media startup. Social media startup is just a personal flex. But then we understood, or then, the business development side understood that social media can become so much more because now we're community driven and we have that aspect of it. How can we leverage that into a profitable sharing aspect for the community members? So those are the things in terms of messaging that we want to be more clear on. Right, it's still a work in progress. Right, I'm not going to say here that says that we have done it, very well. But these are the things that my team and I are going to concentrate on with respect to getting the messaging out there. So I'm going to have an AMA coming up as well, talking about marketing and what does that mean for any small business or any medium business or any big business. What differentiates marketing from sales? What differentiates why is marketing important? A lot of people mistake marketing as buy now, sell now, getting people hyped. It's not about that. It's about closing your community to building the niche demographic that you want, because that's where they will accept your messaging. So, those are the kind of things that messaging is so important for, right? So we're going to concentrate on, 3 different types of social media: YouTube, LinkedIn, and NFT Twitter. Right, and that's where we're going to have a lot more messaging out, and we're going to funnel these guys into a web page to convert them into a prospective customer. A prospective customer is valued in the community because all of those funds goes into the community vault. Right, all of those goods funds goes into what each of us has a part to play in, whether it be new ideas coming out of our ecosystem, whether it be salaries for the team, whether it be opportunities to invest within our holders themselves, like through the Jira tank. So, that's the value of why this project needs to have revenue outside of the NFT space. And I think that's the very, very core narrative of what we want to push forward more. So, if anybody has any questions about messaging and our marketing, I know a lot of projects, people always have, what are we doing? Why are we not getting more people in? If anyone has any questions, just post it on the chat, come on voice chat. I'm here to answer. Right, Maverick, I don't know if you have any questions around that, man. I know you was here just now.
Actually, no questions surrounding that. I did have one question for you specifically, though, Amresh.
Sure, man.
When you were in NYC, did you ever check out Trend City?
Trend City. So Trend City is actually a town where I live. So I got kind of like, no CIA for sure.
No, yeah. Wow. No, it's a dope trading place. They sell trading food. Everybody from NYC and even some people outside of NYC, they come over there to get their food. It's amazing.
I introduced G and Sav to Trinidadian food, man. They were fucking dead.
Man, I
was that?
I said, and me, and Gooden as well.
Yeah, Gooden as well. Yeah. Oh man, Gooden was dead. There as well.
Bacon sharks, the curry goat over there, man. It's amazing. They have Maverick, the best part.
Let me tell you something that's coming up in the pipeline that I think you'll be kind of happy with. So what we identified is that, and I can tell you guys who's leading that effort with me, Don, right, and Maverick. I'd love to have that conversation with you to be part of this. But what we have identified is that in real life meetups, even as small as it can be, is so important for community members to to meet each other and share their ideas, share their concerns, right? It's not just about ideas, it's about concerns as well. Sometimes you feel your concern is specific to you, but only when you speak to each other, then you could say, hey, this is a concern that we all share. Let's bring it up, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to have a small budget for community members to access that allows them to have these in real life meetups amongst their own communities, right? And if the numbers are large enough, maybe we can even have one of the team members come out as well, just so that we can share what's coming, just so that within yourselves we can answer any questions or whatever. But I think in real life meetups are so important because communities isn't just in the online world. Community is to help your brother and help your sister with some of their in real life struggles, right? Whether personally, business wise, emotionally, because having access to someone I think is so important in this day and age. So, that's something that I'm really excited for, where we're going to create like a cheat sheet or a working document that allows you to see like what are some of the stuff that we would want. Some of those things would be like, merch, pictures and photos, so that we can give you guys what you need to have these in real life meetups once it meets a certain criteria, like how much people can attend and stuff. And we're going to support you guys in having these things and you being the leader to have these in real life meetups. So I think that's something that will be really exciting to come forward.
Oh yeah, that sounds amazing because I do know for a fact when it comes to being in the Web3 space, a lot of people, they don't really have, and it helps too with the social life, because many of them, they don't step away from their computer too often. They don't really see, as the saying goes, the person behind the PFP. And when they network, when they talk to each other, they helps them to open up. I mean, we all saw what happened. I don't know if you seen recently. There was yesterday. K Money posted about how he was thinking about ending his own life, but reaching out to someone that he cared about really helped him out a lot. So there potentially could be a lot of people who are just like that, who are thinking about ending their life and just won't say anything, because some people, unlike him, won't go public and speak on these things. But these events will really help them. They'll be able to see there are people that care about them. Hey man, you're the guy that I was talking to on the Discord. What's your name? Oh yeah, I'm Zircon, or I'm Amresh. Oh yeah, hey man. And then getting that love that they potentially don't get at their house or anywhere else. I think that can not only just help them build a career and so forth and network, but also potentially save lives as well.
Agreed, man. Agreed. Because that's what sometimes we alienate ourselves from, right? The pressures that we have socially, the pressures that we have personally, right? And we're all here because we have already shared a common vision, right? Most of the people that are here is because they resonate with something the founders did, or they resonate to something with what their friends did. A lot of people, friends brought them here. So as a community, they have already established some sort of community within the community. And, we have already shared that common aspect of the project together. So now where we have, these are the people that I may not know of because I'm doing an in real life meetup, let's say in New York or Chicago. And with this, I'm attracting other members who are here. And these are the people I can reach out to. These are the people that I've already shared some sort of kinship with. And now I can have these aspects where I can share much more about what I'm going through with them. So those are the things that, build those connections, man. And those connections, it doesn't have a price to it.
Exactly. I think so as well. There's many things in life one can buy with funds, with money, but that one can never buy. You can't purchase, and that's why I deem it so valuable, more than most anything else. It's so incredibly valuable because that's something that has to be built. That's something that you can't just go out and quickly get. Especially in this space, we tend to develop this in it. What would I call it? This new thought process that everything can be gotten easily because we see the space move so fast. I want this project here. Okay, I'll buy it. I'll buy just my ETH quickly like that. Bam, boom, I got it, and it goes up 10x, 15x. Quick money. I just maybe some quick money right now, and everything is so quick because it's like money can buy these things, but these things that you're mentioning here now, there really are prices. You can't buy this, you can't purchase this, no matter how much you want to or where you go looking. It's something that really can only be built, and it's something that's really truly priceless.
That's the thing, right? Like I remember having a meeting, man, and in the meeting we were talking about, it was a governmental agency, and they were trying to understand how NFTs could support their ecosystem as a tourism agency. And one of the very impactful parts of that conversation was NFTs allow you access into a community for certain benefits that money can't buy. Because there are plenty of wealthy people here. But why do they want to be in a community? Why do they want to share a profile picture with someone else who shares it with them? It's because there's an inert feeling and emotion that money can't buy, right? And that's such a powerful narrative to understand, right? That the value of NFT and Web3 communities, right? I see a lot of projects use the word community as such a fad word and such as a marketing ploy, but community drives around relationships, and it drives around something that money can't purchase. How do you resonate with that same messaging? How do you resonate with the same method of thinking? So, if you really push and you really understand what's the value of community, it's exactly as you said, those relationships that money can't buy. Money can't give you that.
Yeah, and you can see it. You can see it happening all the time too. When different people from the Web 2 or the in real life, the actors and these famous people try to come into the space who don't understand it. It reminds me of the time that I forget exactly who it was. Oh, I remember. I'm not gonna mention their names though, of course. I don't know if Shannon said it to everybody, but it was once these guys that he mentioned that they were trying to come into the NFT space. They already had a ton of money. Like it didn't make sense even for them to come in, and they just wanted more money. There was no thing of, hey, I want to build something that's gonna last. They just simply wanted more money. And he was saying that they wanted to. He said, okay, what are you going to charge? And then they said, we're going to charge this exorbitant amount of money. He said, why would you do that? No, because we look at this other project, and if they're doing this and they're about point 3 ETH, and we're doing double that, we're going to charge triple the price. He's like, it doesn't. He's like, no, dude, it doesn't work that way, man. You got to actually build something. They got to know who you are. And yeah, but he was like, yeah, but look at all the things we're offering. He was like, yeah, but look, we have been a free mint, and we're getting 100% of our royalties to the community vault. And then he said that after that they just kind of like shut up. They didn't have anything to say. It's like, oh, okay, well, we're still gonna do this, and of course it crashed for them. It didn't go well because they really just don't understand. It's like it's coming from a privilege of money and a standpoint of so much money to a point where you can't see. It's not in their ability to see, or just that they don't want to see, whichever the case is. The true value of actually building, like literally, not saying in the sense of how the marketing team and everybody else, and typically is said in Web3 building something, but like actually building something, that's gonna last. It's like they don't understand that because they just see, okay, wow, this is royalties off of royalties. They made over $100,000, $500,000, and they charge this amount. Okay, money. I'll charge this amount, and I'll make this amount. I won't worry about building anything. And because they don't have a presence in the Web 3 space, and they think, oh, well, we had a presence in the Web 2 space. People know this guy is famous. I'll just drag that over here to Web 3. People are gonna know it's the same difference. And many projects you see many of them found it out the hard way. It doesn't work that way. The same thing happened with this Johnny Depp NFT. We saw it come out 0.6. I said, you get out of here. There's no way I'm paying 0.6 for no dang old mint. Even though I had it, I said I'm not gonna pay no stupid point. That's ridiculous. And it didn't do too well. And there are many other projects that are like that happened now because they think they can get by on their Web 2 clouds and bring it over to the Web 3 without actually offering anything. And true, there are many projects that managed to get past that, even though having no Web 2 presence whatsoever, and just off of lies and smoke and mirrors. There are many that have done that. We've all seen obviously what happened with um this meme of a project that came out, Pixelmon. So they were able to fool a lot of people with that. But it's like you can't keep doing that forever. And eventually, people in the Web3 space, even though there's a lot of naive and foolish people, eventually it does grow out of that. People do eventually learn as many times as it takes for them to learn. Eventually, they're gonna look at it and say, "Dang, all right, that was stupid of me to buy into something and I didn't see any real proof." Just because of hype. Next time, I'm going to be a little bit cautious. So it's like the space is increasing and the space is moving forward. And even though it's not that fast of intelligence, it's moving forward with some kind of intelligence where people are starting to get a little bit more cautious towards the things that they're buying now. And especially when these celebrities and other famous people try to come into the space thinking that they can get in through their cloud alone and not actually build anything or have a relationship with these people, then it blows up in their face.
Yeah, agreed,
So
man. And it's exactly as you said there, right? That you always have the bad actors, right? And it's like even within our community, we know that our community holders themselves is a much more knowledgeable community. So we were never influenced by having to push some sort of narrative that I think is an insult to our intelligence, right? Because when Shan go jumps on an AME and he speaks about his interpretation of the space, interpretation of the NFT projects, everyone learns from it. Everyone is now a better trader, is a better investor, is a better aspect of themselves, right? And that's what the value within our community is keep on building, right? When a Gojira, you see it, and I tell you how you see it is that you look at a lot of projects teams, you always see that Jira PFP because they have something to add that the rest of the space can't, right? And it's because of the knowledge we have incubated in here. And tapping into a very powerful point that you mentioned there, I think it goes across the board, right? I even remember Shan speaking about it. Stop comparing yourself to everyone else, right? Don't compare physically, don't compare economically, don't compare, even spiritually, right? Where you always compare yourself to someone, therefore you're never good enough, right? You have your own set of accomplishments, you have your own set of struggles that you have, strived and become over. That's personal to you. That's your accomplishments. And I think some of the biggest challenges we face as people and as individuals is always comparing ourselves to someone else. And when you do that, you just always leave room for disappointment, right? So, don't look at what other people has made. They don't represent the same struggles that you have, right? I see people from all over the world, and they, I always remember this one guy from India, and he's in university, he's going through what he has to get done. He's from an impoverished society, but he's here and he's learning and he's developing himself, and his gains is not exorbitant, but he's still profitable in his own way, right? He now becomes that person that understands Web3 and could have that conversation with anyone. And I think PFP, that whole PFP aspect of Web3 allows anyone to have a viable chance just based on their knowledge, right? It's not who you are by race, it's not who you are by education, it's not who you are by any of these things, right? It's about what you can contribute. And I think that's such a strong value of Web3 adoption that sometimes we just take for granted, right? A lot of these people, yes, 90% of them may not be right for the space, but there are one or two builders who are here that may have never gotten that opportunity based on the community they lived in or having no access to networks that allows them to be successful. But just by being here and building these personal collections within the space, it allows you to network, get your ideas and get your knowledge across to the right people. That would never have been opportunities available.
yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, so if anyone else just jump in the convo, man, let's have a chat about what I'm here to speak about communication and some of the plans there. Anyone else want to have a chat? Just jump in on the voice chat, so you could just type a message. I'll answer as I'm here. Someone try to talk there. G, come in the voice chat, man.
Yo,
Yeah, so
yo.
just to keep you
What's
guys
up? What's
posted.
up?
Hey, what's up? I saw you typing. I was like, just come in the voice chat.
Yeah, man, for sure. So good to hear Maverick finally speak.
Oh man.
Legend.
No, we have to go like just a big part of the plan as well is to do a team in real life meetup. So Singapore is not the first and end of it. We're looking at it. Shan and Jamie kind of leaked it there, where we're looking to have somewhere out of Asia so that we have a bigger representation worldwide and allow a different point of view as well, right? Because Asia has its own psychographics that they think about and things that affect them. But the Western side of the world have their own side of things, and it's important for us to not be in a bubble, for us to take the criticism and because a lot of people use FUD as this bad negative thing, but the root of FUD comes from fear and uncertainty, right? And a fear and uncertainty could be something addressed. It could be something that we can work on that no longer becomes a talking point. So but you do it in a constructive way. That's the difference, right? It's not in a negative and destructive way where you're just insulting someone or whatever. But we love to address these things, and these in real life meetups allow us the personal connections to hear from our holders what we can improve on. Because sometimes, like anything, man, we're in a bubble, we're there building, we believe things will be in a certain way, but our community. So as you could see, right, and this also part of the planning and stuff that we have going on. Some people may not see it, but we have been doing a lot more feedback forms, right? So our community itself allows us the opportunity to hear from their perspective, and we're making it anonymous, we're making it personal. So it's not something like tell us in a group chat or whatever, where you may feel like being a victim or being people coming down on you. But you have your own personal space to make a contribution that you feel will be beneficial to the project in some way, that you think that it's not hitting these points, and these are points that you believe will be contributive to the project. So we have been doing a lot more of that. I hope you guys have seen it, right? We have done the Jira Tank form. Sorry, not the Jira Tank form, the Jira Link form. Recently we had launched a form concerning how is our alpha, right? So we're doing a lot more, and in business it's called customer centric. We're doing a very much more customer centric model where our holders, our stakeholders themselves we learn from them and we pivot to what their needs are. So those are the things that we are doing, and we hope that the community is open to that and likes that aspect of our project, where we're doing much more testing within the community and see what we can improve on, and learn from that. So I hope you guys see it, and I hope you guys rally with that messaging. And those are the different stuff that makes us different. When someone asks, well, what makes Gojira different from any other community or any NFT space, these are the answers that we want, where it's very customer centric. It's have the opportunity for us to have a voice in here, and not all decisions, and it's like an opinion, right? Something that we have to remember from a mature point of view, that an opinion will be considered but may not be decided, right? So with consideration comes a whole different aspect of things that we may decide a way forward that hopefully can touch on certain things, but it may not be the best direction as you think, but at least your opinion was considered. And those are things that we want to do much more of, where we collect data from within our community, the Web3 space on a whole as well. So we do much more stuff outside of that, and take those kind of considerations to grow the project, because I think that's very, very important.
Yeah, looking at the feedback form for the alpha, it's mostly positive. I think all the responses so far have been really positive, and I think the main thing that people were asking for is just more alpha. So we have brought on a couple more alpha callers on board. So we've got Notice from Magma, we've got Salas as well. He was referred by Fish and Chips, and yeah. So hopefully there's more value added there as well.
Yeah, I think that's important, and everyone has a voice, and it's your decision if you want to have that voice, and we urge everyone to have that voice. So let us solve some of these things, because the success of our project affects everyone, right? And it's not like a leadership problem or a management problem. It's our choice of wanting to work with the community to develop a better community. So those are the things that we'll do some stuff, and then coming from as we launch certain things as well, right? There's certain strategies that we have in place to get feedback around things that we can improve on, and from a community point of view, because there's something called weighted opinions, right? Imagine someone who is out of the space having an opinion. They've never bought into the project. Do we really weight that opinion? They've never invested into what we're doing. They've never really pushed that aspect of having that faith in us that we can deliver. But going to Twitter and asking people for beneficial advice, they have nothing to lose, But every member here has invested in some way, whether it be through buying into the project or their time, right? Time is a valuable asset that they have contributed in some way. They have something to add, and they have something to add that affects them, and that should be weighted and valued. So, that's why a lot of these things are happening inside a server. That's why our server is closed, right? That's something that even up to this day, I'm so very proud that we made those kind of decisions, because the people that we want in here is the people that has a value to add because it affects them. So, those are stuff that sometimes we just take it for granted because we spend most of our time in here, right? But when you go into other projects and other communities and, you see a dead chat and you see a dead server, and the founders are trying their best, right? Some people are just trying their utmost of what they can do, but they just don't have sometimes the ideas or the creative side of things. But, within our community, you still see active chats, you still see, and knowing that a project may not have any more NFTs to contribute back to it, but it still allows everyone here to have a value. Right, and that value is about, it's a very nice line that we want to push more on. It's incubating businesses and empowering people. That's our value, right? We see a lot of founders started from within our server, and some of them are successful, some of them are still, on their way towards. But that's the value that we have brought, because the conversations we have, the ideas we share, hearing from the founders and getting access to that, those are things that makes our project successful. So it's really, really valuable to see that.
Yeah, and I can't wait to continue meeting you all, man. Like, it's truly a blessing to have made these connections in Web3. Meeting everybody in Asia and creating such a close bond with the team. Truly a blessing, man. Like, I hope to meet all of you guys very soon, who I haven't met yet. Maverick, I'm keen on meeting you, man. Yeah, it's truly a blessing.
I'm
truly a blessing.
Sure.
Oh man. And just for the record, that Shan made a bounty in Singapore, that bounty is not valid no more. Please,
It's always
random guys. I don't want random guys coming up to me and trying to offer drinks into my face, right? That's the start of every rape story.
anyone Amresh drink alcohol, they're gonna get a Genesis for free from.
That's the start of every rape story, right? None of that.
Funniest thing, Amresh, is I don't drink either.
Oh man, you're gonna have the worst time with the team then. Oh man, it's such a fun idea, man. It's such a fun aspect of, and that's like, to me that was so heartening to see, right? Like when we were in Singapore and we were doing these activities, everyone still took the time to compartmentalize that we're here for something, we do what we have to do, we still share time with each other and build relationships and have fun and these type of things. But it was always partitioned. It was always that this is what we do, this is what we do, this is what we do. Where G and Sav could go to a club and see a Ferris wheel and dictate that it be opened, right? Right, Shan tries to cook a plastic container in a hot pot. And those are the things that just makes the team stronger. Or kills us faster. It's your perspective of how you want to look at it. Right, so I'm really looking forward to
and a point to note for people, it's not just the dinner the hot pot or our party was not just with the team. There were quite a lot of holders who were part of the dinner and stuff. I mean, like I can't exactly recollect who were there, but if any of you who came with us for the like a 3 a.m., 3 or 4 a.m. hot pot run and stuff in Singapore, if any of you are here, but it was not just we didn't just like, kind of be like an exclusive group or something. We kind of brought in almost like all the holders who were in there. Sorry,
I think he
did you hear
just hot
something?
mic'd. No, he just hot mic'd, whoever it was.
Okay, I heard someone was there, and one of our holders traveled with us all the way, stayed with us in the same hotel, and we pretty much booked the place as well for him. Like in the sense, Steve. It's Steve
Yeah,
who
man.
is is a Genesis holder, not part of the team. We kind of like he just wanted to come around. We had some spare rooms and stuff, so we kind of gave. He came with us to Manila, Bali, and Singapore. So this is like it was really nice for him. He flew all the way from the US to join the team, so this is the least we could. So it was pretty good.
And those are the things that makes the when you look at in real life events, it's not about the team itself doing certain things. It's about building the community. Right? To me, what was one of the most impactful things from the trip, I remember, man, that we were having a meeting in the hotel lobby, and I was chatting with this Gen 2 holder. We were just chatting about a project. We were chatting about the stuff, and the team was like, let's have a meeting. And he got up, and I was like, why are you leaving? He was like, you guys are having your meeting. I understand that, you would want to have it private. I was like, no, man, you're an investor here. And, sit down with us and hear what we have and offer you. And he had some input. He had the opportunity to share his perspective on things. And I think, that was so impactful because, from his point of view, it was like, he felt at the start that the team is different from the community. But after that session, his buy-in to the project, his buy-in into the vision was so much more because now he feels as part of a project, of something that we're building together. And I think having those things around every single member of the community, where this is not a Shan thing, this is not a Jamie thing, this is not a G, Amresh, Ruben, this is not their things, this is our things that we build together, right? We just have one of the best action team that allows that possible. The access to the network, access to funds, access to creators. We just have the network that allows us to take those ideas forward. But everyone has a value contribution to make, and I think that's such a powerful thing that we just have to build more on. So those in real life meetups have so much value to add. Right? And I still can't help to know that after the Godzilla meetup in Singapore, everyone is flocking to Singapore.
Yeah,
I
man,
will
those
too.
IRL meetups are everything for me. Love it.
Yeah.
By the way, thanks Adiz for that banner, man. You didn't even tell me you were making that. That's fire. Thank you.
Anybody coming to the Oktoberfest?
Is that Tata or Sam?
What's
Who's
up,
speaking?
everyone?
It's Tata.
Tata, German. Maybe
must
I will
have some-
come, Tata, to you. 1 hour drive. I will come.
I at first said just the 1 hour, and I was like, nah, that's not enough for Tata. But then I was like, okay, 1 hour drive. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are almost neighbor with Tata. I am almost neighbor with Tata, so maybe I
It's a
will drive there.
violation. Shan is violating again.
I think you didn't understand.
The key is to have, if you're going to these meetups, have Tata, that's fine, or go G, that's fine, or Sav, that's fine. But when you have all three of them, it's not fine.
Listen, man.
I gave them a quota. You're only allowed to meet up like twice a year all together. It's not good for the environment. It's not good for the planet.
Honestly, Sav is the culprit. Like Sav is pretty much like me and G. We met like twice the last 2 weekends in Melbourne. It was I mean a few of the holders, right? I don't know if Abs is here, yeah, he's here, and a few other shoes here.
Let's
Like,
go.
a few of the Genesis holders.
So it's Sav then. Sav is the
It was
missing
a
piece.
it was a crazy night, but it was not as crazy as when Sav was on. Like, we still
Yeah.
got back, we still got back home.
Ruben.
What?
And Ruben,
No.
Oh my god.
The Sav is the shotgunning White Claws in a alley in New York City. That's
I mean, Sav is the dangerous one. He pretty much can get you in jail and stuff.
definitely made some memories I don't remember.
I only made people get kicked out of a club last weekend, but that's all. That's all I do. But Sav can get you arrested.
Yo, Shan, that's gotta be the funniest thing ever.
Someone should have
Oh my God.
recorded that.
What Shan did get kicked out?
Sorry,
Did you get kicked out of the club?
I not only me, I made everybody who came with me get kicked out. Like, thanks to me. So,
That was so funny.
I mean, so Sav can I can get people kicked out. Sav can get you arrested. So that's the difference. All right, I think I got you guys.
Here's Shan's version of who's the most feared one, right? But yet every time Shan is with Gooden, he always tries to run away.
Gooden is like super straight when he's normal, but when he's drunk, he's gay as well. He's got like a multiple personality just when he gets drunk.
He's a loving character.
I can confirm that.
Yo, I love this. Someone's spoken about your laugh, Amresh, and I think
Yeah, man.
we heard it in real life, and we pretty much related it to a car engine starting up. Pretty much. I, in fact, made one of the taxi drivers stop the car at like 3 a.m. in the morning to turn off and on.
You see what you have to go through these in real life meetups, bro? It's not as easy as you think, right? The psychological burn is ridiculous.
Yeah, Shan just straight up roasts everybody.
Yeah, man. This man stuck with
I
car at 3 a.m.
I didn't even realize that, but it was so funny when we had to, I was like, it was 3 a.m. in the morning and I was a bit drunk and I was like, Amresh doesn't drink, the only one who doesn't drink, right? So I was sitting in the front or something and I was like, very seriously, I told the driver, can you stop the car? He was like, what happened?
Everyone is concerned, right? Like, why are we stopping? What is happening?
And then I was like, can you stop and start the car? I'm just missing Amresh's laugh. Let's hear it. Amresh, do it for us, your laugh.
No, shut up. This is not a roasting AMA, right? This is G's AMA. G's AMA is the roasting one. This is a community important AMA. Let's not roast people here.
I feel like it's a Trinidadian thing because you and Jay Satram have such similar laughs.
Where is Jay? Is he? Yeah, bring him in as well. I think people easily get confused that Jerry is also you. Both of you.
Oh man, I'm gonna message him and tell him he's been roasted. He's not even here. Oh man, I'm so excited for the next one. But we learned a lot. Like that's something that we have to say as well, right? That a lot of the things that we planned for Singapore, most of it was successful, some of it was shortcomings. So as we kind of do these in real life meetups as well, we're going to learn from those experiences.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
Singapore was definitely a learning experience.
Also, from what Amresh told, right? The thing is, it's not just about meetups, or not just about getting drunk and getting like smashed out and stuff, right? It's really, see, all this thing happened, but we all woke up at 9 a.m. And we pretty much had our time from like say 11 to like 3 or 4, and we come back and we all had to wake up at like 8:30 because we had like a lot of work and stuff, and all of us were back in Discord and all those getting those work done, right? But more importantly, the mix of the part where you had the time to be with the team and the holders at the same time have a little bit of fun for the next 6-7 months so that you can come back and smash your targets out, because everyone was getting burnt out, and it's not like a project where we raised $50 million or something to pay the team like crazy amounts. It's all like people are working for. All these guys have been working almost for the longest of time. So it's not. So all these guys and the team, we got to know how many or whoever is there for money or who's here for the thing, and we realized like none of the team members are in Gojira to just make money and stuff. They can be these guys with this portfolio can go to another project and easily get paid like maybe even 2-3 times more than what they're getting paid here, like as a minimum, just for the experience and all those things. But that's pretty much the important thing what we learned with all these being together and almost like roaming like a family. That was really important for us. It's like a validation, even for me and Jamie as founders. For us, the validation that okay, these guys we can trust and we could do some things, because the last thing you would want is you trust these guys and you start entering into something and they're like, Shan, I think we got to quit. We can't continue. And imagine like one member of the team who's everybody's important, right? So one guy leaves, almost like it's a pain. It's pretty much like the IRL stuff. It's pain to find somebody to replace and stuff like that. You don't want to be in that position. You don't want to be in a position where uh, you kind of almost like or like where you realize that people are here for this reason or that reason, and then you cannot get that the confidence for me and Jamie to move forward and do things. So yeah, that was really nice to know as well. That's really important. Like validation was definitely found there.
Yeah, we've had some really successful team building sessions. Like there was even one time in Bali where Josh, the mental health guy that we have in the team, like he set something up where we had to be completely honest to each other. What we like about each other the most, what we critique about each other, and there was a lot of honesty there. So saying everything that we thought to each other's faces, and then moving past any sort of not adversities, but maybe some things that people were thinking they wanted to change or whatnot. And it was even an emotional meeting too. It was a lot of honesty and a lot of team building in those sessions.
Sorry, sir. Someone posted a picture in the PGAMA chat. We take these things seriously, and we got the guys. The Genesis holder like Naiku. We conducted a post analysis session for our event and stuff. And also this link by RMA is pretty much in Bali, we had this this brand building event, and by Josh, when me and Jamie left, so that the guys really don't have to know who told what. But then even a shortcomings, myself and Jamie as a founder as well, because a lot of them can feel the fear to say it to our face. And we conducted all these events. It's not just I don't know how many of you understand the seriousness of this, but these kind of things are very important for if you really care about the team, if you really care about the project, you would be thinking about all these kind of team building sessions, and also events where the team can speak freely and improvise within the team as well. I don't know how many projects are doing that, like literally treating this as a project and as a product from Web2 and not just here for money. You don't have to sit through this. You could have gone in the Bali, the 2 days what we had, we could have just been on the beach and just partying and stuff, but spend our time and this thing for right things. So that is pretty much what I would say, for the team as such.
Yeah, for sure.
Yo, Amresh, we gotta fund you a new mic, man. We gotta fund you a headset.
No, that's is not my mic been making that. I bought a good mic, man. Sav roasted me enough. And oh man, Sav is like, how much is Gojira paying you? You can afford a new mic. So I had a port, man. Oh man. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You guys rolled me from Bali. It's not my vape.
Yeah, man, we're missing Amresh and Bali. That
I
whole
was there
situation
running for my life in an earthquake in Philippines.
Yeah, yeah, you literally running from an earthquake. You're with us in spirit though.
Yeah, for sure. Right from the
Guys, gotta go. It's about almost 2 a.m. Before I get kicked out of the house, I gotta go.
I think we need to have like a partner support group, right? Like people so that they can have their own support group complaining about us.
Yep. It's almost like this thing, what is it, an alcoholic anonymous, so it's like this partner of this thing anonymous.
Why are these guys in meetings till 2 a.m.? Why can't they just come to bed?
Like what's the hardest thing to explain to for a lot of people, especially in Web3, not just Gojira team, but for a lot of the real ones, right? To explain to them why you have to quit a really high paying job to pay low and work 2 to 3 times more and spend less time with the family as well. It's very hard to explain. Even to Amresh's partner, when you meet her, she's like, this guy just sleeps, eats Jira, and the dream he speaks about Gojira. I don't even know if he needs me or the Gojira team. And when we met her in like Singapore, and she was like, don't ever fucking plug Gojira or something, because I don't know. I can't imagine Amresh doing anything else apart from Gojira, like, anymore. So it's really hard. It's really hard to explain to a person outside Web3, why you would you do something like this. Like, it's especially in a tradition like Indian tradition. What I did is considered as one of the dumbest moves in the world. Like, in the sense, in India, it's almost they see, a well settled. You study well, you work, you get into a good job, you get married, you have kids, and that's it. Like, you're successful, right? To quit a job, to people normally quit a job in India, or Indians normally quit to go for a much higher paid job, right? So it's it was luckily my my family and stuff were like super supportive, but yeah, not an easy thing to convince. That I made a post even why Indians are like really good CEOs. So many Indian CEOs, but almost like very rare Indian founders, because of the very same reason, the culture. They don't let you take this kind of a chance. Life.
Yep.
Right. We'll catch you guys. Gotta go, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next week. Anyway.
All right, guys.
Alrighty.
Right, guys. Have a good Sunday.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye bye.
Take care.